Hey, Leslie.
Hey Lisa, how are
How you
you?
doing?
I'm good. We had a hearing today, so it
Are
was
you dead? Oh, wow, wait. I'm echoing. Bad.
we had a hearing today, so
Oh, wow, wait. Wait, it's not echo, it's playing.
yeah, I
Hold
hear
on.
it. Okay.
You do hear it?
I hear the echoing.
There it is. I got it.
Okay.
Okay, it's off.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all
I've been
good.
playing with my sound and the stream deck and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and it's all messed up. I'm still echoing in my head, but as long as you're not echoing and they don't hear
Yeah,
you
no, I'm not
echoing,
echoing.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I'll take it. I'll take the
Yes.
echo for the team.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So you were in a hearing today?
Yeah, we had a hearing. It was a case management conference, but it ended up going into a hearing. Um, in what that there's a difference, when you go to a conference versus a hearing. A hearing is evidentiary, meaning you're there to prove the facts and the truth. But with
Right.
our court system, you never want to walk into court without being notified as to why you're walking in. So you'll
Right.
have, like, if you go to a case management conference, you'll get an order from the court. It'll specify the scope of what you will be covering that day in court. But a lot of times, the judges or opposing counsel will try to exceed the scope of what you were noticed for. So you have to be
Right.
kind of a gatekeeper too. So because I don't practice anymore, I consult my husband on what to do because I was the trial attorney. He was not. And so he's learning from me now. And so I always tell him, I'm like, look, here's what you need to be prepared to discuss. If they go outside, they exceed the scope of what is specified in the order, then you need to object and say, look, we're not noticed on this today. But
Right.
but all judges are different too. But that's
Right.
why, judges aren't gods. And anytime we would go into court, I would always assume that if things didn't go well with a judge, we'd have to appeal it. So you always have to be 5 steps ahead when you're in litigation.
Right.
So we'd have to get things on the record and make certain objections, because if you miss those objections at the trial court level, you can't take those. You can't argue them at the appellate court level. You lose the ability to argue them. So there's a lot of
Right.
technicalities people don't understand with law. It's very, very complex. It might appear to not be complex, but you've got to dodge bullets in every direction.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Everybody's saying that. Hello's in the chat.
Hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello. Um, so basically today I've just been, still reorganizing and trying to get some graphic works done for the show. So working on that. I did upload a video today. It's called Deliverance. And if y'all haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. It's pretty funny with dueling banjos.
Yes, it was funny.
Um, and then, so that was pretty cool. And yes, Peculiar, I did the short, but I didn't upload it as a short. Do we need to see it now? I can upload it. But I'll tell you what, I did, and I bring this up because, a plea deal, right? So, last night, not sure if you know, but Jeremy went on his live and he was telling everybody what Richard Luthman was telling everybody on our channel. I think he said it once or twice. How you can't get a plea deal with a civil case, right? So, and we laughed about it, we mocked it or whatever, and all of a sudden last night, Jeremy starts having that same attitude because he realizes what he said and how stupid he looked. So he spun it. Of course, on Sunday, spun day. So I immediately got sent the video, the breaking news video, where he actually called it a plea deal. He did it several times.
Yeah, that was
But
funny. You played
yeah,
that.
so I immediately went and took the sound and made it real short. But what I did today was I went back to last night to hear exactly how he mocked it. And I'm like, oh, we need to fix this short. So let me upload this. It won't take but a minute. And I'll show you how I edit it. Or edited it, I should say. Let's see. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where is it? We got all these lip flea images. These are freaking great, Leslie.
I know, those are hilarious. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do a video because I kind of ran out of time, had to hang out with my kids and husband and everything. So, but I'll get something done.
Custom.
Yeah.
I was wondering why I couldn't find it. It's under custom file. All right, hold please. Okay, it's this one. All right, let's upload. It'll take but a minute. And this is just for you, Peculiar, okay? Sheesh. We weren't even live yet, and she's questioning in the chat. I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. Chill. Jeez. People so touchy. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so used to calling everybody's names out. Hello, hello. All right, it is not showing. Why? Maybe it needs to be a clip. Oh, there it is. All right, here we go, guys. This is the new one.
Here's the funniest part, right? Here's the funniest part. The other side of this, the anti-what the Hales side, continues to go, there's no plea deals in civil cases. When did anybody ever say a plea deal? Did you ever say a plea deal, George?
No, but if you've paid attention to the pattern of behavior and their reporting, they always take things and they twist it. They misinterpret everything, and so does Lynette.
Oh, that's funny.
Just so we're all clear, there is no such thing as a plea deal. There is no prosecutor that you're going to deal with the state or the government in regards to this. This is a deal that they've asked for with me personally through their people to my people.
I love this part.
Nobody has ever said a plea deal. And how anybody could be so ignorant, so stupid to ever go, plea deal? There's no such thing as, nobody's ever said plea deal. We said deal. They've asked for a deal.
One individual has come forward asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal.
I love this. That's great. That's great. Great.
I was like, when I went back to it and I heard what he said, how people could be so ignorant and so stupid. I'm like, oh, this has got to go in there. I'm sorry. It just has to go in there. So, and again, that's just from that one breaking news video that he said plea deal. He said it numerous times. It's just this past week he got called out on it like twice. So now he's, he's spinning it. And you see how George gets in there and helps to spin? Well, the way they report, the way they report is calling your asses out. Just like I just did again.
That's what you have to. That you got to. Well, we'll get into that tonight because I know we're talking about that.
Getting to the truth.
Yeah.
All right. So, Leslie.
Yes.
You have been invited to a convention. It's called the Whistleblowers Convention.
Correct.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah. Well, this is my first year attending it, but there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people in Washington, D.C. And I'm going to be a guest speaker to be able to speak in front of hundreds and thousands of people on July 29th and 30th on guardianship reform. And they're going to be talking about, I mean, I'm being brought there for, to discuss guardianship reform because that's a real big problem in the United States, and it affects the older life group. Nobody's going to go unaffected from this. So, if you think you're just going to put your head in the sand, wait till you're old. I've seen people, like I said, with disabilities deal with this injustice and corruption, as well as people as young as in their 50s. So, no one's completely bulletproof from it. So anyways, I'm going to be there speaking on the issue of our court systems and how they're set up and why we're actually set up for failure in a lot of ways. And I can break that down. I'm going to be breaking that down at the convention, but we really need reform in the judiciary. That's a whole nother story. But anyways, it's different hot topics that are, that affect Americans, that affect the public, that, the public is living. And that's really the purpose of the Whistleblowers Convention, from my understanding. I'll be learning more, but I'm very excited to attend it. And I was very excited to be invited into this thing and to guest speak. So yes, I'm very excited.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let me just interrupt for 1 sec. I have to do this. We got a special person in here. Lisa! Does the dragon works? Happy birthday to you. I'm echoing. I can't do it. Wait, let me take my headphones off. There we go. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I had to do it for her. Lisa's awesome. Sorry, Leslie.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I did prepare for tonight, Lisa.
You did?
Yes, I did. I've got some questions for the public to get their minds thinking.
Okay. Well, let's get to it then.
Want me to get to it? Okay.
Yeah.
So something that a lot of us don't understand, and I thought to bring this topic up because of the fact that there's so much going on in this Hales scandal. There's such a division inside that can I film it? Oh yeah, Pebs. Yes, I can definitely film it. And I'll try to see if maybe I can go live while I'm doing it. That'd be
cool. Awesome.
I could set up a podcast, right? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So anyways, what has happened is we go through life, right? And we, even with politics, everybody takes their stance and they're too scared to cross over or to entertain the other side. There's a lot of reasons. I've researched this as to why humanity does this. Some of the things, I'm just going to kind of give you guys a brief introduction as to how do we really find the truth. Because when you go back in time where I used to do these courses online. They were free, believe it or not. It was from Yale University in their law, in a legal class. But they talked about the evolution of democracy all the way back from the Greek democracy, all the way through Machiavelli, John Hobbes, all the way through Europe into the United States. And we come from the common law system from the UK. Not every country in the world is a common law system, but the United States is, and a common law system is built to be adversarial. Which is why we probably see a lot of negativity in our court systems, because it's it's meant to be adversarial. The reason for that is that when you read into the philosophy of democracy and how we got to the Constitution, everything else, we perceive our reality based on what we've experienced in our lives from birth all the way through. We're conditioned at a young age to perceive reality through the lenses that we are. Much of it is influenced by our families, our parents. And then as we go on through life, we're influenced in other areas. Nobody is going to have the same truth. We could experience the same things, but we could see things in two totally different ends of the spectrum when it comes to the truth.
Right.
The court,
like some people being afraid and other people's not.
Exactly. Right. And the court system, when people have conflict, they will both believe that they're absolutely right. They will both believe that they are giving the truth. But where the court system comes into play is the court system is the reasonable person's truth. It's not your truth. It's not my truth. It's the reasonable person standard of truth. Okay. So what ends up happening, that's why you have a judge. That's why you have juries. What is reasonable? What is reasonable? Is your truth reasonable or is my truth reasonable? But yeah. So
is the judge reasonable?
Well, not always. And that's the problem with the judges. That's a big flaw in our system as well. And a lot of it is motivated by politics and how they get appointed and who funds their campaigns and what attorneys in their room. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes that the public doesn't understand. But anyways, make long story short is why don't most Americans want to seek the truth? Okay, that's we need to start there. Why are we in these social group forums and everybody's got such a division in the Hales case, and we've got one side that just wants to only entertain the facts from that side, and we have another side that only wants to entertain the facts of those, but people aren't equally going and venturing out to find the facts on their own and what is the truth. Well, there's reasons for this. One of it is social pressure. This has been studied that people want to be fit. They want to fit in and they want to be liked. So if you're going to venture out to the other side, yeah, exactly, Kim Shu, fear. Okay.
Hey, Richard.
So they're going to want to be liked. So they're afraid to take a stance on the other side. Okay. A lot of people are driven by emotion. When we are trying to find the truth, you can't be driven by emotion, guys. You got to be driven by logic. Okay. It's got to be logic, and people will be driven with their thoughts on what the truth is from their emotions. Cognitive thinking is demanding. When you have to cognitively think and critically think, it's not something you can passively do. It takes work. Okay. It's easy to be spoon fed, and that's why most people are spoon fed. It takes effort to actually find the truth, and not be spoon fed. And then another thing that I want, and this is why we're here tonight to talk about this issue. People don't always know how to find the truth. You think you know how to find the truth, but there is a skill to it. And that's what the court system is designed to do. And that's what the court system will be doing in the Hales case, should it go to trial. We hope it doesn't get as far as to go to trial, but should it go to trial, this is when all of these technicalities are going to come into play. So these are the main reasons people don't seek the truth. So I have a question for you guys. Okay. Here, I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to start it. Lisa, you can see if you can answer this for me and anybody else. Okay.
I'm trying to get everybody's responses.
Yes. Okay. So have any of you guys had two friends encounter a situation and they come to you, but they have two completely different renditions of the story that happen to be the same event? Okay.
Yes.
How do you decide as a person?
Numerous times.
Who to believe? How do you decide? If you have two friends come into you, they've experienced the same thing, but they're telling you different renditions of the story. How do you, as the person receiving this information, decide who to believe? Anybody? Going once, going twice. I'm just kidding. Lisa, how do you decide who to believe?
Oh God, I've been in this so many times.
Yeah.
I listen to both of them, and I do a lot of yeah. And then I ask questions. And
yeah.
Good.
I was going to say, do you, let me ask you this. Do you look at their history to see the type of person they are and have they lied or been truthful in the past?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll tell you right now, the courts, when it comes to crimes and criminal allegations, courts 9 times out of 10 do not care about your criminal history unless it's a crime of dishonesty. Those crimes are very relevant when you have a witness on the stand. You can go back so many years. I think that it's pretty endless when it comes to crimes of dishonesty. Okay, so you could go murder somebody, or you could go shoplift, or do something like that, and then after so many years, it's irrelevant if you're in court, right? But if you have done a crime of dishonesty, say you forged something or you've lied and you were caught, or whatever that might be, that is relevant. So there you go. That first and foremost, you're going to look at their character, right? You're going to see, have they had a history of lying, right?
Correct.
And what else could you possibly look at to get to the truth?
Well, the facts.
But the facts, you don't know if those are the facts. You're getting two versions. You're getting a version.
Well, it depends on what the situation is.
Okay, so let's come up with a hypothetical, because I want you guys to learn this concept. Okay, because this is going to help everybody in the Hales stuff.
I feel like I'm being tested now.
Isn't it fun though? Are you learning?
No, it's cool. Good.
I'm just trying to give you guys something.
I tend to read people really well.
Yeah.
And I can't, I'm not a judge, right, in a court or anything. So I can't forget what I already know about this person, being the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can seclude the past from the current situation.
Okay.
I've like recently done it actually.
I can give you a story. I can give you a hypothetical, Lisa, that involves me, but it has nothing to do with the Hales situation. And I can tell you.
No, I'm not a judge.
So I had
I should be. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
We had a client, and the client had wanted to hire our law firm to handle a civil federal case. And we took a retainer, and we said to the person, we gave them in the retainer agreement, it stated that after 30 days, if they had up to 30 days to dispute the invoice. Okay. So if they didn't agree with the invoice, they needed to do it within 30 days. Otherwise it's considered, they accepted what they paid us. Right.
Right.
So months go on, they pay us this, it was like a $2,500 down payment or retainer. It wasn't that costly of a retainer, but it was something. And then the work was done and the retainer was used. Well, then months go by, and they are confronted because they had done some really bad things that would were very deceitful in their case that could actually cost them their case. And when we confronted them about this, all of a sudden they said they want a refund, right? To work that was already done. Well, we turned around. What do you think I do? My evidence is I'm going to grab the retainer agreement, right? And I'm going to show them the clause that we went over. I'm going to show that they paid, that we did the work, that we submitted. They had 30 days, they didn't do. And then months later, this is what happens, right? So then they turn around and they're running around town telling everybody we just took $2,500 from them and did absolutely nothing, right? So what do you think I'm going to, if they put me on the defense? I mean, there's such things like with my husband, there's attorney-client privilege, so we can't. But I'm just saying, let's say there was an attorney-client privilege and say we were in court on this issue. What do you think I would do? I'd bring the retainer agreement, right? And I would show that it was, well, then I'd have to authenticate the retainer agreement, make sure that it wasn't forged or that it wasn't altered. So there's authentication. That's why you have notaries. And I would show tangible evidence, right? So that in itself, after you saw the tangible evidence that they had the 30 days, would it be pretty much a slam dunk, right? Do you think that there would, that could be disputed if it was found to be that was a credible retainer agreement? They had up to 30 days to dispute. They waited 6 months after, they were upset about being confronted. And then all of a sudden they wanted a refund. What do you think the court is going to find in that situation?
Well, I think the court's going to give them an opportunity to answer.
They'll give them an
and prove their
opportunity.
Case.
Yeah, absolutely. The court's going to give them an opportunity. But what do you think is the truth? And if they're saying what
I think is the truth?
Yeah.
I think that you would have won that case.
And why do
they hired you. And
they hired me, but specifically what evidence? Would it be just me getting up and testifying? What would be the deal breaker?
The contract. The
exactly.
Retainer.
Exactly. And and it's not so much that you have to always have tangible evidence, right? But I can tell you, if you don't document and you don't have tangible evidence, like for instance, you just played something tonight, right? You played a statement. You played a statement, right?
Sure did.
And the
two different statements.
Yeah. And the statement
contradict each other.
Yeah. The statement wasn't, it came directly from the person's mouth, correct? Like it was directly from the person's mouth. You can authenticate the recording. Meaning you took the recording. So that's authentication. You can show that you took the recording, that you were there, you listened, you can describe his voice and you can say, I know who that voice is, right? So you can authenticate it. Now, if you were to go into court and say that
do you know how many of those things I have? Just saying.
Well, I'm saying, okay, let's just say taking a plea deal was a defamatory statement, which it isn't. Okay, but we're just going to say that. Say it was a defamatory statement. Right. And he's saying, no, I never said it, right? And he's like, let's look at this video that I published on, June 8th, 2025. I said to everybody, this wasn't a plea deal, right? That's what he's going to do. He's just going to negate and evade his previous statements, right?
And then I'm going to come in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show the one from 2 months earlier showing he did say it.
Exactly. And then
if I need to, I'll show the one in between from my show where Richard's explaining That's
Yeah.
not a plea deal.
Well, and on top
And
of
then,
it,
yeah. And I'll show why he said what he said on June 8th. Right.
And here's the thing. What if you were a lawyer on the stand? Because you always said you wanted to be a lawyer. What if you were a lawyer on the stand and you wanted to impeach him? Now, do you know what impeachment is? Do you know how impeachment works and why that's important to impeach a witness?
Well, I tend to be able to do that, but go ahead and
you
explain
basically
it your way.
you prove them a lot. You prove them a liar in the court. You prove them a liar. And what that means is anything out of their mouth from that point on is not credible. You've impeached them.
Exactly.
None of their testimony is going to be credible.
This is why Shara is not going to work, people. Go ahead.
So get this. So if you, Lisa, wanted to impeach him so that you could show the court that this guy does not have any credibility behind what he says, that he clearly is
so much
inconsistent.
trouble.
Let me ask you a question. What would you do? If you were a lawyer on the stand and you were going to ask him a question, would you just come right up there with the audio and play it for the court? Or would you, what would you do? I want to hear
I'd
your
ask
strategy.
him straight up.
And why would you do? Why
in
would
a
you
couple
do
of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
The same question.
Yep.
To see if he answers the same way.
And to
see if he
he's
still
honest about it.
lies.
And
And
what
then-
if he lied? And that you got it, girl. You should have been a lawyer.
I know.
You would have impeached him, right?
I never wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I was told I should have been one.
Well, you know, the crazy part, when you go to trials, guys, you always typically have to exchange your exhibits that you're going to use, which includes audio recordings, unless you're going to impeach them with it. So you understand what I'm saying? So if you
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Note.
You writing this down?
I'm writing that down.
Because what's going to happen
Because I have plenty of audio recordings.
Well, yeah. What's going to happen is before you go to trial, the judge is going to say, okay, you guys got to witness an exhibit list exchange. Typically, they allow you to do it about, well, we always ask for 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks before a trial so that we can depose adversarial witnesses. So you have 2 weeks before the trial, right? And you have to exchange everything. And when you exchange everything, because you're not supposed to walk into court not knowing what's going to be presented. And you also have to be able to get rebuttal evidence. So if they have something bad, you have to have the opportunity to rebut it, unless it's impeachment. So if you know that this person's a liar and you know they're going to get on the stand because they're so pompous, you might not disclose that audio. And you might just go right.
Oh no, you hold on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am the type of person, like, first off, I like protected people in my family and stuff like that, and I always watched over everybody. So, and even with my friends, they'll say I'm the mom, right? So let's say I know about a situation that happened and they're trying to deny it, right? But I know the truth. I will literally ask them as if we are on a stand, not bitchy or anything, but I'll ask them a question. Did you do this? Did you say this? Whatever. And they'll deny. And I'll ask them again.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you sure? I'll say, well, what happened here? I will give them every opportunity to realize I already know the truth. So stop lying to me. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'll slam them with the truth. And that I already know. You know?
Yeah, because you got to,
So,
you know, because it can't be, you can't have a shade of gray in an opinion when you're talking truth. It's got to be like, this is in your, like, it's like the Florida bar affidavit that I have, right?
So guys, if I'm asking you questions and you're lying, no, I probably already know the truth.
So let me ask you guys a question. Because this has everything to do with what's going on with everybody.
Got you, Kim. I got you right there, Kim.
When you guys read something online, okay, when you're scrolling through what the hell's crazy hate site, whatever you want to scroll through,
Right.
what steps do you as a responsible critical thinker take to check to make sure that everything that you are reading online that's infiltrating your opinion is accurate? What steps do you take, and what steps do you think you could take to make sure that you're getting accuracy?
Are you asking me again?
I can ask you if someone wants to. I mean, and if you can't answer it, I'll give you some clues.
Let's see what the chat says. I don't watch a lot of that.
Okay, so let's say that you're on the hate group. Okay, and let's say let's just use me for an example because I
hang on. We do have some questions. Hang on.
Okay.
The magic 8-ball. All right. So, does impeachment evidence need to be introduced during the discovery? I'm just echoing so bad.
Oh, you won't introduce evidence during discovery. You would request it. So what would happen with impeachment evidence if you know that, say that you know that Jeremy Hales is in possession of several recorded videos in which case he's saying X, Y, and Z. You would ask that in discovery request. Now, discovery is your biggest, most important thing you could ever engage in a case. There's many forms and methods to doing discovery. That is a skill in itself. It's like playing chess. You've got to understand what tools you have to play with. When you're dealing with discovery, you can discover tangible evidence, which would be your written evidence. You can discover intangible statements, which would be, verbal sworn statements. So you can go in, usually the way I do it is I go in first with interrogatories. And what that is I'm simply just asking for sworn statements. Okay. But you're limited. You only get 30 interrogatories and then you have to request permission to take more. But usually what I do is you don't have to ask all 30 at the same time. You might ask a couple.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Then what happens after that, then you can do, you can do these at any time. This is how I do it. Then I usually, once they've admitted to something, then I'll go in for the request to produce, meaning I would ask them to produce the tangible evidence that they just admitted to having. Okay. But you gotta be slick when you ask these questions. Well, you allege this in the complaint, right? So, how are you intending to prove this allegation? Right. So, I mean, if they say they can't prove it, then they have no business alleging it. So once they say I can prove it, and then this is, how I'm going to prove it, because you ask them that in interrogatories, then you ask for them to turn it over to you. Now, if they say to you, oh, I can't get a hold of it, right? Then that's when subpoenas come in. Then, okay, you can't get a hold of it. Well, I'm just going to subpoena YouTube and I'm going to get all the records myself.
Or they throw it off on their partner or employee.
Exactly.
Oh, it was their fault. They were supposed to do it.
Exactly. And then you also have what's called depositions and depositions duces tecums. Depositions duces tecums is a cool tool. They're more expensive to do a deposition, but with the duces tecum, you're asking a party to show up at a deposition carrying the tangible evidence so that you don't have to ask for it in a request to produce. Then you also have another discovery tool called admissions. And these are yes or no style questions where you want to just knock out some facts and you want to say, is it or is it true? Is it yes or no that this happened? Because then at that point you can go into court, should you go to trial, and you can go ahead and just tell the court, look, we've already established these facts. We don't have to try them. Now, a lot of times people go through discovery, and if they get everything they need and there's absolutely no way that the other side is going to be able to counter them, that's when they go in for what's called a summary judgment. And the summary judgment is great, if you're in this stage of litigation, because it prevents you from having to go through a trial, because it would be a waste of time. If you have all the evidence you need, there's no way they can negate it after you've engaged in discovery. You don't need to go any further into a trial, because that's now a waste of your time, a waste of the court's time and everybody else's time. So you'll see a lot of times things get dismissed on summary judgment, but you want to make sure that you've engaged in discovery. Sometimes I've known people that have engaged in discovery without even really telling the other party they're engaging in formal discovery. They just go and they do their own, like you're doing. So you might get to you might get into this litigation and you have so much evidence because you've been holding onto it the whole time. You might have everything you need to prove your side.
Oh, I do.
And you wouldn't even need to go through discovery. And then what you just do at that point, I would just go do a deposition, bring all your evidence and get them to admit on the record. But those are things, like I said, but discovery is not, it's about collecting evidence. Question is, what if Germ cuts it?
Man, I've been doing that for months.
Well, that's why you got, like, what Lisa's doing is you record it in real time, and if he tries to alter it, you already have the original.
At least for most of it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's videos out there that I'm sure he edited.
Oh
But
yeah.
he didn't edit everything. So
See, like a motion to
he's an
dismiss.
idiot.
Well, a motion to dismiss, just so you guys understand, really, because you always got to understand procedure and you have to understand why. It's like, again, you're playing chess. You've got so many tools you can play with, so many rules you can play with, but you need to know
Right.
when and why to use them. A summary judgment's different from a motion to dismiss, but effectively they do the same thing. A summary judgment's
Right.
going to dismiss the case, but it's going to dismiss it with a prevailing party. Somebody's going to win or lose. A motion to dismiss is just going to knock it out from the beginning. And the motion to dismiss, now they're harder. And I'll tell you the public policy reason they're harder to get to prevail on. They're harder to prevail on because if they were easy to prevail on, think about the counter effect it would have. A lot of people would lose their chance in court. Okay. So they're meant to be an easier filing to not, or it's something that's not as easily granted. Let's put it that way. You could have a winning case a lot of times, and they're not always as easy to grant because the court wants you to have your day in court, even if you don't have a strong case sometimes. But what the motion to dismiss essentially does, it looks at what's called the four corners of the complaint. It just looks at the words, and when you look at the words, you have to assume they're true. Doesn't mean they're true. Okay.
Right.
But when you're going into, whether or not you're going to grant or deny a motion to dismiss, you have to assume those allegations are true. And then what you have to say is there's failure to state a claim, because even if these allegations were all true, they don't meet the legal elements for the claims being alleged in this complaint. That's one of the arguments you can make on a motion to dismiss. Does that make sense, Lisa?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Absolutely.
So that's the phase that you guys are in right now. So getting to the truth, guys, and understanding, you got to look at just what you're dealing with on an everyday level right now. And you got to understand people that say other people are always wrong or right. They don't get it. We all have our own truth. Okay. And that is real to us. That is real to us. That's why you'll see people getting knockdown battles. They're a liar. They're a liar. No, each person believes they're being the honest person. You got to fiend through this, and that's where the courts come in when you get into this rigmarole of a dispute. It says Bruce had him early. His deposition affidavit didn't match. He lied in the affidavit. Yeah, and let me tell you guys, because I read Jeremy Hales' affidavit, and it was the most egregious thing I'd ever encountered as far as testimony from a deponent that I had ever seen. And my husband felt the exact same way. And so
see, with him, I don't think he believes any of what he's saying.
Well, no, he wouldn't answer. He was evading. He was evading.
Yeah.
I have his deposition right here. He was evading questions when they would ask him really significant questions. He would suddenly go, well, I don't know. It's up for a jury to decide. I don't know. It's up for the jury to decide. And then when Bruce would ask him questions such as, do you have the evidence for this that you're claiming? Or do you have the evidence for that? You don't have a right to have that. Well, Bruce absolutely had a right to have that. You're claiming damages, you're claiming destruction to your business, and you're not wanting to turn over profit loss statements and show how exactly your business was financially destroyed. That is absolutely relevant to your lawsuit. But according to Hales during his deposition, no, that's not relevant. And I saw his deposition firsthand. I read it.
Now, are you talking about the first depo?
The one that
in
Bruce
December?
did in December. Yeah, the one in December. There's two. I read two depositions.
Well, there's two in December, yeah. One was December 2nd, and then the other one was the 19th that he did in person in front of the judge.
Yeah. And he basically, the majority of his deposition was insults directed at Bruce. And let me tell you guys something. One thing I have encountered in court, and this has come from other attorneys, when someone does not have a strong case, in court from the other attorney, that is when you see an extremely aggressive, insulting attorney, because what they do is deviate. Because when you have a strong argument, you don't need to get angry and aggressive and insulting. The facts speak for themselves. The facts and arguments speak for themselves. When you see somebody getting overly aggressive and insulting, 9 times out of 10, they have the weaker case because they are deviating and trying to kind of almost detour the focus off the fact they don't have everything in their corner. You know what I'm saying? He was extremely insulting towards Bruce to the point where it was not professional. My husband and I both said, had I been a practicing lawyer at the time taking his deposition, I would have called the judge immediately during his deposition and asked the judge to release me from the deposition because he was that insulting and I was not going to anymore. It was borderline abusive, in my opinion. The of name calling.
I really think that audio from the first depo should have been put out there.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what Judge Belissa was thinking.
That was when people want to know my opinion on Hales. When I read that depo, there was no turning back. I have never seen such a level of disrespect towards another human being in my life during a deposition. Mm-hmm. That's not how.
So many attorneys have said that.
Well, so and on top of it, you guys in the legal profession, it's all about disagreeing, but you respectfully disagree. It's okay to disagree. The Supreme Court justices that are on two ends of this, two complete opposite sides of the spectrum are friends outside of their role as U.S. Supreme Court justices. They might not take the same political position, but they respect their differences. And you, in the legal profession, you have attorneys arguing all the time. People might think it's rude. Attorneys don't think it's rude. We understand, or, my husband now that he's the current attorney, they understand that you're gonna have a difference in opinion, but you are respectful about it. You're right. Germ doesn't know how to be respectful. It is called ethics. And you listen, I tell my kids all the time, because I want to teach them to be critical thinkers. I don't want to spoon feed them and be a controlling parent where I stifle their ability to have critical thinking skills. Right. I tell my kids all the time, it's okay to disagree with me. Just do so respectfully. And I will think about what you've stated and we will come to a resolution. Because absolutely, Kim, but that is something that he clearly was not taught how to do. It's like with what I witnessed in his deposition transcript, it was like a immediate war attack mode. That's how he treats everyone who disagrees with him. And then sue. Yeah. Well, it shows you who he is, because that's not how the legal world works. There's plenty of people that do not agree, right? You don't insult people because they don't agree with you. And that's but you got to look at the Facebook, look at the Facebook thing. And I want to make, here's my challenge to everybody. Cause I had some people telling me this, Lisa, I've insulted this. Here's what I challenge anybody to do who believes that I have just initiated insults on people. You can go to the top of whatever that is that you can filter, okay? And you can literally put any accounts that that I have, and you will see the dates that I started throwing punches back. I already have a timeline and I already have my evidence. It was on May 15th that Michael Volpe published my interview of Michael Volpe in the What the Hales Facebook group. Approximately that was on May 15th. On May the 19th, there was, without me even knowing about this group or even making a comment, I was already being attacked, being accused of sleeping with Michael Volpe and getting pregnant. Comments were made about my appearance. I mean, I was attacked right after that was published, and it never stopped. And so ultimately, as time went on, I started to fight back. So anybody who believes, that I'm out there initiating.
Also backed out. Like, you're like, oh, whoa, I don't want
Then I deleted
everything.
Because I was like, this is it. And then what I was doing too is I was standing up for you guys because I was so appalled. You guys got to understand, I stand up for the voiceless in when I was practicing law. If I see somebody getting bullied, people were going on about the bully. Do you guys know what the bully exterminators was? The bully exterminators, all it did was take the person's picture and publish it with their own words. There's this picture of Anaya Waterman floating out there with a quote. If you guys don't know, go look on Facebook and filter it. That's Anaya Waterman's own words. That's not my words. What I did was, if people are going to bully, they need to own it. I put their picture next to their own words and I published it. And now I'm the jerk. Well, I'm sorry. Those aren't my words. Maybe that you should look at the jerk as who the person. So the bully exterminators, think about the term bully exterminators. Stop bullying.
Right.
So
It
that
was
is
funny because when Tug was talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, dude, she's the bully. She's the bully." I'm like, "Do you
I was
even?"
not a bully.
Like,
I was calling
it's called
bullies
bully
out.
exterminators. Do you
Well,
guys?
no.
You can't even understand the two words together.
Well, that's the whole
It's
point. Lisa,
exterminating the bullies. Hello.
when I went on there and I saw what was going on, I could not believe what they were doing to you guys all over that group. All I did was take their words, publish it, because I said to myself, you're not going to sit there hiding behind your friends. I'm going to post you. And I guess what I published it on an online forum, which is bullyexterminators.com. So the world can see who they are. Guess what? You need to think twice before you post things, because I will take your picture and I will take your own words, and that's not defamation. And I will post it on multiple forums for the world to see who you are. If you want to call me a bully, guess what? You should have never started it, because I am not going to allow anybody to initiate bullying against people that are innocent. I will fight for them if they can't fight for themselves, and I will fight for myself.
Exactly.
So you might want to think twice before you go running your rude words and attacking innocent people, because you might end up on bullyexterminators.com with your picture and your own words. But now what they do is they just post anonymously because they're too chicken. They just want to, if you're posting. So guess what? Yeah, I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but that's something I did want to clear the air on, because he made it sound as if I'm bullying Anaya Waterman. And I know Anaya is listening to this. I pulled my entire timeline of Anaya Waterman, and I apologized to her for any rude statements that I said. But one thing I never did is I never told people what Anaya did to me initially. And I promised her I wouldn't do it, but now she's taken a different position and she's back to bullying me again. I was the better person. I apologize. I didn't air her dirty laundry, but all you have to do, guys, go onto Facebook and you can see it. You just plug in Anaya Waterman's name and see all the mean things that girl says. You will find that quote that's on that picture, because that's her own words.
Yeah. And when I was setting up the live, I saw that it appears tonight you may be a topic on Megan and Tug again.
I'm sure.
I think they're calling you the loller.
Oh, go for it, because I called Megan out for her lies. She blatantly said several very blatant lies. I put them in press releases with the evidence. She said, first of all, I track when I'm doing something like contacting Megan to ask her for an interview. I have a professional that would hold up in court tracking email system that tells me how many times she opened it, tells me what links that she clicked on, tells me if she forwarded it, tells me the time of day she opened it. You guys can see all this because I posted this. I posted this on my YouTube channel, so you can see all the tracking. She goes on to Tugs the other night.
She may not read another one, just so you know.
Yeah, well, listen to me. This is what she did, Lisa. She goes onto Tugs Live and says that I sent her an email that she never read. She read it 9 times, and she clicked on my my link to civil estate law. I have it all. She read it 9 times. That's a bold-faced lie. So let her get past that, because my tracking system can hold up in court. She knows darn well she read it. Okay, 9, not once, but 9 times she read it and never had the
A lot of lawyers have that.
Yeah, it never had. I learned, trust me, you learn when you practice law. So she never had the decency to contact me back. Then she goes and she makes this big to-do, her and Tug, about how Jeremy Hales' son felt so awful for the video that he posted that he deleted the video off of his profile. So I go onto his profile and it's still there. And I'm like, why is she lying? Because
she got that from Jeremy. Do you know how easy it is to go and vet that?
Yeah. Well, that's
Jeremy
the thing.
said it weeks ago. And the second he said it, first off, I know Jason's good. Jason's okay. Okay. And I'm not going to say how and why, But when he said it, I still went to the page, Jason's page, and looked. I'm like, he's such a liar. It took 2 seconds.
Well, they were
so
the
for
same.
her to be repeating that, and this entire time that has gone by, like, because this was a couple weeks ago when he said it. So she's had plenty of time to go to see if that video is still there.
So think about this. On this is the 3, right, that I can think of. She lied about opening my email. She lied about Jeremy Hale's son deleting his whatever you call it. Then they mislead the public by posting Anaya Waterman's picture with Anaya Waterman's own words that you can see on Facebook that she posted herself. And I simply put her words in a quote next to her picture. And they stated and misled everybody to think those were my words. So they didn't. Hey, if they're going to talk about bully exterminators, why don't they call me? Why don't they call me up and ask me? Isn't that due diligence for a reporter to do? They should ask before they report. But here's the deal with Megan, because there's a lot of people out there, including the people, a lot of the people that I am affiliated with that are taking me to Washington, D.C. There's a lot of people underground that you guys don't know about that I'm affiliated with the advocacy work that I do. They have all said.
Can I just bring something up real quick?
Yeah.
Because you're coming in kind of after this happened with Jason going live on our channel and putting up his video. So you're seeing, what you're actually seeing when you go to his page is a second video. He put a video out one day. And
wait, I want to ask I want to say this because this person has been saying misstatements, this peculiar ocular or whatever. Whoever it is, if it's a guy or a girl, keeps making these statements that I'm lying, I'm misleading. I asked them earlier today, tell me, give me your evidence why you think I'm lying, you think I'm misleading. I don't like statements being stated about me that I'm lying or misleading unless you have evidence to back it up. So go ahead and email me your evidence, or you can stop making those statements because you look like a fool unless you have anything that you want to go ahead and show me that I did, that you're claiming that I did, because I'm very, very careful with my words and the timing. And if I say anything, it's reactive. So I can guarantee you I have a timeline and I can show you exactly how I reacted to somebody. But that's what I wanted to say. I apologize, Lisa, but I've gotten hit up by this person several times.
Okay. Now I just lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh, okay, so the video with Jason. Jason put out a video, and then his mother saw it that night. So that she corrected something he said. So he deleted the video the next morning or that night and put out a new video. And that's what you see. Is the second video.
Wow, I can't even imagine.
But that was all within a day.
It doesn't look like he felt bad at all about what he voiced about his dad.
So by the time Jeremy saw it, it was all within like 24 hours. Okay, but Jeremy said a couple weeks ago that his son felt bad and he removed it and blah blah blah. No, it's still there. All this. This is 9 months ago.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's a very, if you go back and you listen to it, they very much mislead, and shame on them calling themselves reporters and not doing their due diligence. And that's exactly why this entire underground community,
they don't vet anything.
No, and this entire underground community, they're very educated. They're very, very competent people. They're very much in tune. They're reporters themselves. And they said she's gone down the tubes. They go, we don't even watch her anymore. Right. She's like a Jerry Springer joke. And it's true. I mean, where is her due diligence in picking up the phone and calling me, or you want to report on me? You know, she's calling the bar. Don't you think she should be calling me and asking to have my affidavit? Because I don't fit into the mold of the generalization that she's getting. She's getting general information from the bar. I have a specific, unique affidavit that was specifically given to me. Don't you think if she's going to report on my status?
Yeah, we showed it.
Yeah, why isn't she calling me? I mean, if she's neutral and she's competent, she should be calling me and asking me to turn over that affidavit so she can review it before she reports. She's a joke. Yeah. She's an absolute joke.
It makes me wonder, when she was supposedly a legit journalist.
Yeah, I don't know.
What she vetted before. Because she doesn't vet anything now.
Yeah, she's definitely not, in my opinion, she's not any journalist. I mean, conducting herself the way, she's a joke is what she is. And I call her a Jerry Springer joke. She might as well be, she's there for the drama. She's there. But I mean, for her to sit
She's
there,
there for the breadsticks.
she is.
That's it.
She is, and it was funny. I was watching another podcast tonight, which I love, by the way. It's a new one, I think. It's called, I think, like DNV or DNR Investigates. The girl, she's smart as a whip, man. Yeah. And she was talking about Megan, and oh my God, we were just dying laughing because it's
recent
tonight,
video?
right before your show.
Oh,
she was
really?
Going on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I actually emailed her. Well, sorry, I asked her to email me, and I responded. I haven't heard back yet.
Yeah, she's bright, man. She's like you, Lisa.
Yeah.
She's very smart. And I think she has a lot of the gaming community that's supporters of hers. But I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be listening to her. She's smart. She's smart as a whip.
I explained in the email that I don't really know Comic-Gate or how like she knows Tug.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know if she could fill in the puzzle pieces. I'd like to hear her, experience with him.
Yeah.
Because, even before Depp and Amber Heard that case, he's been doing this nasty shit to people before that. So they were accusing you, Leslie, of being them.
Of who?
Oh my God.
Who was accusing me of being
I don't know.
who?
But hang on.
Yeah.
So let me just jump back for a second. You mentioned peculiar.
Yeah.
She called you a liar? I just want to clarify where we're already here.
She was stating that I was Okay, do you think if you're telling somebody you're manipulating and not in twisting, and I got to look back at the exact words, but whatever, there's implied, you can say things through, she twists and manipulates. That's lying. Do you understand? If you're going to say that I'm twisting the truth and I'm manipulating, I got to go back onto my YouTube because I had to actually hide this person from my channel because they were just spouting out bullshit. And I'm just like, look, if you're going to spout these words out, here's my email. Give me your evidence. I'm a lawyer. I'm a retired lawyer. Give me your evidence. A court would ask you to do that. It's exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys. You've got to vet your evidence. You don't just, if you vet a situation like this, you got to go all the way back through the Facebook feed to the first time my name got brought into it. And then you will see, because let me tell you something. I didn't know who the hell Jeremy Hales was. I didn't know who the hell What the Hales was. I was simply asked in minding my own damn business. And the next thing you know, I'm getting attacked. And this person almost insinuated that I was throwing punches at it. And I'm like, do you think that I'm going to go out of my way to find a group of people?
Are you sure it was peculiar though?
Yes. Positive. Yep.
Okay.
Positive. I just did it before we came on because they've been hitting me up and all these insulting things all over my YouTube. And I at first I let them stick around, and then I'm like, you know what? I've had enough. Like, if they're going to be this ignorant, listen, I can accept if you want to respectfully disagree with me. If you want to say, Leslie, I have a question. I don't know if I agree with you on that. Then I would say to you, can you give me your evidence of what it is that you believe that I've done? If you give me evidence and you prove your point and I have screwed up, I absolutely, like I did with Ania Waterman, although I didn't, I was being very nice.
You didn't. You were just.
I will apologize publicly.
What she used as an excuse.
Yes.
For what she was doing.
Listen, nobody in this world is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, including myself. If you show me that
that's why I was asking, are you sure it's peculiar?
Yes.
Because remember the comment I told you earlier that I got?
That's who I thought. That's who I thought it was. It wasn't.
No.
Okay. But that's not who I'm talking. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
When you said that before, I thought, well,
okay,
wait a minute.
Here we go. This is, I have their thing. Now, this is a nice video where I'm giving my history on how I helped parental rights. I mean, I'm a justice fighter for parents, kids. And in response to this particular video, I'm looking at it 4 hours ago, Peculiar Optics comments, you have already disqualified your morally superior position by trolling people you didn't know first. Now,
yeah, she just said that in the chat.
Yeah, you tell me who I have trolled first. I would
Oh,
love
you
to
didn't
know.
tell anybody first.
That's well, I don't know. I would have not even known of this group had I not been attacked. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that is a lie. Unless you can prove that to me, that I randomly jumped onto some random group on Facebook and started trolling people. That's a lie that you're going out there telling about me, Peculiar. So that I'm not going to put up with it. You want to get there and say these statements about me? Email me your evidence. Email me your evidence. We will air out the dirty laundry publicly. I am not putting up with statements like this anymore from people. I will be the first to admit when I've made a mistake. I will be the first to admit and apologize. But I am not going to stand for blatant lies about being told about myself.
Yeah, I don't believe you trolled anybody.
Why would I troll
first.
anybody randomly like that? That makes zero logical sense.
No, I get that. So I don't know what she's referring to.
It's an ignorant statement. And listen, if you don't have the ability to just, to critically analyze, I'm trying to give you those skills right now. I would listen to me. Okay. I spent $140,000 on a law school education to learn the skills I'm telling you. Okay. You cannot go around like you are making comments like that without doing due diligence, and be very careful, like listening.
You'll
to people
find
like,
a lot of people just making comments, and it's based on what they're hearing. In this case, usually from the other side, Megan or Tug or Jeremy.
That's why they're so. That's why they're
Anya
dangerous.
Waterman or Waterman, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
she's just spewing stuff she's already heard. But then, like with her, I believe she's making shit up. So
I do too.
you have. I mean, I've gone in and seen screenshots. I've seen Facebook posts that are sent to me, and. Okay, the post, it will be hilarious or it'll be something totally spun.
Yeah.
But if you go and you look at the comments and what people are saying, they're making shit up. I mean, I'm like, where did they get that from?
What it is? You gotta
I've never even heard of that.
So you guys gotta understand, this is not a world that I have lived in for a long time, because when you're in the legal world, this shit doesn't fly. Okay. You better have your evidence before you spout your mouth. And what it ends up doing is it's like, listen, I have to stop myself because I learned a skill, right? I paid a lot of money to learn this skill, and not everybody has it. It doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody else. I just paid a lot of money to learn it. You guys could too. And the majority, like I told you guys, only 0.4% of this entire country has a law school education, according to the statistics from the government. I cannot expect that people are going to have the knowledge that I have in this area because I spent all this money, and but I'm here, and I always have been here for the public to educate them, and I'm providing valuable information to you that I had to pay lots of money and put a lot of time in, and it was going to help you decipher and get to the truth. I'm not telling you what side of the fence you got to go on, but you better learn the skill of how to investigate. Because if you think that you're relying on people like Megan Fox and Tug, first of all, they have no legal background. They have no business giving any legal analysis on anything. They don't have a legal background. I mean, I heard Megan spouting off about how she wants to know if she could still do sanctions against me after I dismissed her from a lawsuit. That she's an idiot. She didn't know what she's talking about. And so the whole point is that you be very, very careful listening to somebody like that who's running their mouth with no education to back it up, because they're educating you, and they have no business educating you. She has no academic study education in the legal world for her to be saying anything like that. Okay. And then, so you got to be very careful, and you got to be careful who you're listening. First of all, if you're listening to somebody, you need to ask them.
The other thing is, when people say something,
and
it's not true, and other people are reading it, they tend to believe it, and then they start spreading that shit too.
Exactly, that's
exactly how this whole entire freaking minion thing's gone on.
Well, and that's how people's reputations are ruined. The good news for me, Michael Volpe saved me in this one thought process, because I was done with everybody. When all that hit me, I didn't ask for what happened. And you remember that week, Lisa, that they all came attacking me, and I hadn't done a damn thing to these people. I deleted everything and I was done. I was like, I don't want to, these people are, in my opinion, I'm just going to be honest what was going through my head, because I've heard, oh, I'm nuts and I'm this and I'm that. You guys, come on, give me a break. You know, I'm not crazy. I might be unique, but I'm not crazy. But I truly thought you guys were. Sorry, not all of you, but the ones that were, I was like, I need to get the hell away from these people, are insane. And so I was like, I vanished. But then there was people like Lisa and people that were good people and people that supported me, that were good, smart, intelligent, nice, respectful people. And I felt like if I vanish, I'm letting them down because they need somebody to help them. They, you know, and here's the thing. I told you last night, Lisa, I don't mind taking the blows if it's going to protect you guys.
Well, some people might be sarcastic with their comments.
Well, I tell you something cute about because I you guys know I don't care for him for what he did to me, and I've been on a campaign of just making comedic videos about him. But DJ, what is it, Radis? I have to say this was really cute. Now, was it the most insulting song in the world about me? Absolutely. The words I definitely disagree with, but he made a very quality song. It was a satirical, humiliation song about me, but he spent, you could tell he spent time. He put thought process, he had skill, and I thought it was cute, even though I hated the words to it. But anyways, I don't mind roasting, right? I kind of, it's fun sometimes, right? Comedians do it all the time. I don't mind roasting. I don't mind going in battle back and forth with who can, create funny, insulting content against each other if it's done lightheartedly, right? But it's when people cross the line and it crosses the line of a comedic value, and now it's just bold-faced mean, and it's a complete attack, just mean. That's not cool. That's what on Facebook, when they were being so mean to you guys, so mean to me as bully exterminators, I came back fighting at them, and I gave them a taste of their medicine. They didn't like it, and that's
what it seems. Because, for instance, like this shit started so long ago with Jeremy knowing he was a bully. At least in my eyes, because I saw what happened with the whorehouse. But I didn't say anything. I threw a couple of Gin Jones, things out there. I've said this before. But with the Guapo thing, it was just like, enough. The truth needs to come out about this guy. And when you start doing that and he gets, faced with it, then he starts attacking you, Then it's that battle.
Night? Yeah.
So to me, I just gave it right back to him. And I'm giving him what he's been dishing out. But I'm doing it with truth.
It's reactive, Lisa. It's reactive. You guys got to understand, and just that's why you always got to trace everything back. You can't just take an isolated statement of me in a Facebook group from bully exterminators where I'm giving these bullies a taste of their own medicine. You got to look at why did I do that? I did that because they were egregiously attacking people, including myself, and they needed to feel what it felt like, because they wouldn't stop any other way. I reported it multiple times to Facebook. Nothing was happening. So I said, well, guess what? Maybe they need a taste of their own medicine. Maybe they need to feel what it feels like. Would I have randomly a bully is someone who initiates an attack. You got to really distinguish between somebody that's reacting. You guys can find something. Of course you're going to find, because I'm reacting. And you can sit there and this is what it gets me. Oh, Leslie's a bully. Look at this statement that she said. Oh, well, why don't you go ahead and go through the entire thread of that group and see who started the attack? And you can see that was 5 attacks deep.
Why is the hodunks out there if no one attacked you?
That's the whole point. The hodunks was a satirical way for me to deal with the attack, because the first day that I started really getting attacked was May 19th. So it posted on May 15th. Attacks started to slowly trickle in. I have a timeline. I have all the evidence. You can pull it up on Facebook, unless they've and that's another thing I noticed too, is anytime I provide good, credible, solid evidence on that forum, it gets deleted. They don't want you guys to know the truth.
Megan just posted something, I think it was yesterday or was it the day before, telling people to delete their stuff because they're doing more harm than good. And I'm thinking, too late. I
Yeah.
already got it.
Well, they,
And
anytime
thank you for doing this, which
Yeah.
means you are part of this channel
Yep.
and the whole conspiracy of all of that shit because you went there and you're telling them what to do.
That girl is as dumb as a
It's like-
doorknob, man.
I'm
I'm sorry.
Really, you know?
She's pathetic.
So look, the chat is going on about this with Peculiar. She's saying she did not call you a liar.
I'm looking at what you sent me. I can screen share it with you. It's your name right here.
Okay. Leslie, stop for a minute. I think you need to hear what she's saying. It's important. Okay. Let me just explain. Peculiar has been here for a very long time. She supports the channel. She comes in here.
Yeah.
Trust me, she can be sarcastic.
My thoughts are not
or at
Lisa's,
least I take some of the things she says sarcastically.
Okay, my thoughts are not Lisa's,
But-
by the way. Okay, so if I have a problem, it's not Lisa with you, it's me.
She wanted to call me out and call me a liar. So explain why you think what she said is a lie.
Why did I think that? She says
Yes.
you are okay. Hold on. You have already disqualified yourself or your morally superior position by trolling people you didn't know first. The reason that I believe you're calling me a liar is because I am out there talking all the time about how I'm being trolled. Okay. Stating that I have been reacting to the trolling that's been done to me. I even have a podcast now called Troll Talk, where I address the trolls with my reactions publicly and live. And your whole statement is stating that that is not true, which means I am lying to the world about the fact that I'm being trolled. You're making it sound in this statement as if I have initiated that you morally superior position by trolling people you didn't know first. Who did I not know first that I started to troll? That is a lie, because I will tell you all the time that is not true. So if I'm telling you that's not true and you're over here,
That's how she's taking it, Peculiar. That's
how
she's
I
taking
perceive it, because it's going to give people are going to have a choice when they read what you said. They're going to have a choice. They're going to choose, do I believe Peculiar or do I believe Leslie? Right. And they're going to, these are completely contrasting opposite statements from what I stand for and what I've stated all along. So that in itself.
Well, not everybody's going to agree. And everybody's entitled to their opinions.
If you're going to publish something on a very heartfelt video, because this is a heartfelt video that I posted. Okay. This was on my career and how I was helping kids and helping. If you're going to post a statement like that, give me the respect of giving me your evidence. Let me review it and let me apologize if I've done this. I don't ever recall doing such a thing. But if you have the evidence that you're going to make this sort of statement on a heartfelt video that I made about the work that I did freeing people and bringing and restoring their rights and helping parental rights with their children, in the work that I did with to help humanity, you're going to post a statement like this, then
so now everyone is asking Peculiar to explain what she meant by that. If you want to keep talking about it in the chat, then let's just talk about it.
Peculiar,
what did you mean by that?
It really upset me. I'll tell you why it upset me. First of all, I don't like the statement because it's untrue. But if you had put it on, say, a funny video, right? A funny video, then, okay, so be it. This was a very serious video. Do you understand the work that I did? I put my life at risk. I housed people that were homeless. I housed a ward that I got out of a guardianship for 2 months because she had no place to live, and I fed her. Do you understand the passion and what I sacrificed to help people who were less fortunate? My work and the work that I did as lawyer Leslie, and I just posted a bunch of new videos on my site that's not comedic. It's actually my real work as when I was a lawyer. And the people you'll see, yeah. And so that is not the type of video to post something like that. That really hurt me. It hurt me. Okay. Peculiar. Am I emotional? Yeah, I'm emotional because it really hurt me that you said that, because I am not perfect and I have made plenty of mistakes, but that I would love to know when I just randomly started trolling somebody who didn't initiate an attack on me. Because I can tell you now, why do you think I started Bully Exterminators? I hate bullies. I will fight for the vulnerable. I will fight for those. I will put myself as a target. Right now, I am a target. I'm the laughing stock of all of this crap going on. Okay. But guess what? I'm willing to be the laughing stock if it's going to help not hurt Lisa, if it's going to help not hurt Bruce, if it's going to help not hurt, any of the people that have been attacked. If I have to be the target for now to give them a break, I'm willing to do that. Okay. But I do not take lightly to be called a bully, because I am not. I will defend and I will stand up, but I will tell you, I will never initiate an attack. And if you can find that I did that over the last however months, then go ahead and find it and show it to me. And if I did, I will apologize publicly.
Okay. Is Peculiar saying anything?
I don't know. I'm not trying to. Listen, I'm not here. I know you guys, and she's a good fan of your. I'm just telling you, it really hurt me. And I saw some things going on in this chat. And that's why I had to say something, because the whole point is this. You guys got to understand your words hurt. Your words hurt. Okay. You don't know somebody's history. You don't know what somebody's lived in their life. And that's what's really sad about this stuff going on this Facebook group, is there's a lot of mean, evil, hateful things being said. Do you guys not think it hurts me to go on and see all this stuff being said? And my lips aren't that big, by the way. I'm laughing. I mean, I'm going to run with it, but if you saw me in person, my lips are not this ginormous whack doodle lip. Sometimes the filters make my lips look bigger because that's how the filters are, and they put red lipstick on me. But I can tell you, my lips are not that big. They really aren't. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But I mean, it does hurt. It does hurt. And what really hurts now is this recent attack that I'm mental and manic and bipolar and all this other stuff. It's really sad, guys, is I worked with, I freed people from that were being, do you guys know that my entire platform in law school was to stop the stigma towards mental health awareness, suicide, kids killing themselves, people not wanting to medicate for their mental health because of such a stigma going on. But yet there's such an attack against me now, against my mental health. And I was the voice. I was the voice for the people, standing up for these people who are being chastised, and people committing suicide. Have you known people to commit suicide because of the stigma? And you think that it's okay for you to be attacking someone's mental health? Wait till someone dies in your arms. This is not a funny thing. What happened if I killed myself because I had bipolar? What happened if I killed myself from your brutal attacks? Then what? You don't know who you're messing with all the time. You don't know how someone might be on the fence. Do you understand? Someone might be on the fence with their life. Serious. You don't play games like that when you're making fun of people's mental health.
Okay. Peculiar is saying my comment does not say you're a liar.
Listen, we can agree to disagree. And this is where we both come in. Your reality and your truth is that maybe the word liar wasn't used. To my truth, it insinuates that I'm a liar. Now, it's okay that we disagree. We're going to do this right in front of everybody to show you guys how this works. It's okay that we disagree, Peculiar. Okay. Because you have every right to have your stance and your position and how you feel. And I respect that. And we'll just agree to disagree. And here's the thing. I have no issues with you. We've had a disagreement. It happens, right? We can move on from this. I just ask you in the future, if you are on the fence about something with me, if you could just talk to me, ask me, give me evidence. And listen, you would be amazed. I am a very, very empathetic person. I'm a very sensitive person, and I will admit when I'm wrong. And it doesn't always feel good to admit when you're wrong, but I will do it. I promise you that.
No, I'm letting these two air out whatever's going on.
I think it's good for people. I think it's good for people to but I think it's good for people to see that. Do you understand how you can work through these sorts of things in a respectful manner, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I understand what you're saying, and she's entitled to her opinions. And I think you were hurt by what she said. Were you testing me with this? Was this the thing about knowing two people and having a disagreement, and what side do you take?
Remember you remember when you were listen, no, just stop. It's not ridiculous to me though, Lisa. You remember when we were talking earlier tonight, and And I said to you, I told you, I said her name starts with a P. And I said, is that the person that's contacting you about me? I said, there's somebody that said something really mean to me, and it said a couple mean comments today, and it's on her name start. You remember I said that to you, like
Yeah.
early.
Yes.
I said it to you because it hurt me really bad. Okay. It really bothered me. I read your comments. I read everybody's comments.
Yeah.
And it hurt me. And then I saw it again.
Carrie.
I saw it again tonight as I was talking.
No, I understand. So I know what made you say that. I get that. Peculiar is saying, that was my whole point. I needed to come to you in private, but you call me out on live as a liar.
Because she is posting this on the screen as I'm talking and trying to help people. Forget it. I'm not even going to talk anymore. I mean, then you know what? If you wanted to do it in private, it's probably not the best when I'm sitting here trying to provide really good information to help everybody. I'm doing it to help you guys. So we can all, I'm trying to pass along things that I've learned to help you guys. And it's like, then I'm looking down and I'm seeing the same comment pop up that hurt me so bad earlier. I mean, if that was the intention, why do it again? Anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It is what it is.
All right. Do you have any more questions with getting to the truth? Hello?
Are you talking to me, Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought you were asking. I thought you were asking everybody. No, I just had questions like, for instance, okay, I'll just ask one more question. Okay. Have you ever changed your mind about something after looking deeper into it? And if so, what was it about the situation that changed your mind?
Are you asking me?
It could be you. It could be that.
Have I changed my mind about something? Now, are we still in a situation where I know both people?
You could do it like that, or you can do a new hypothetical. And everybody think about it. Yeah, everybody should think about it too.
Mike's like, oh my God, I need a drink.
I was trying to prepare to make it. I really wanted to like help everybody tonight. That's why I was like prepared ahead of time, and anyway.
Okay, that little bit says, Leslie, this whole thing is a shit show, starting with Germ. Everyone's on edge, and you are new to all the nonsense, which is true. Okay, Lori says, stop negative chat, folks. Leslie's new here and doesn't know everyone. Put aside the egos. Okay. Leslie has a right to make a stand for herself, and Peculiar has a right to her opinions.
Exactly.
I think what just for this instance right here, I think Peculiar made her statement, did not call you a liar. However, with what she said, you're taking it as if she did because it insinuates you are, which is just what was talked about. And I can see both sides of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, oh my gosh, now we're in a situation.
I think going further, you guys should email each other because Peculiar is cool. She's been here a while.
Yeah.
You're cool. I really think that you can either just continue to disagree and move forward, or just talk it out. But do it in email, because now everybody in the chat's upset. They see both sides, so it's like, just do an email. Easy got out, peeps. Now we're friends. The first impression was not good, but gave it a chance, and now we're friends. Okay, one second.
Okay.
Wait, I lost it. Where'd it go? The harsh first impression is usually a hard stop for me. This was a fellow musician. Okay, I got a story. Overthinking can distort the truth. It's not fair for one to be talking and one to be writing. True. True, Pug. I changed my mind about Germ. Used to be a fan with added info over time. My position changed. Sorry, guys. I'm echoing in my ear. It's making my words like trip.
Yeah.
All right. So, for instance, I had, when I was younger, my mother sold gold. Okay. And I always had everybody at my house. You know, we'd go swimming, barbecuing, things like that. Always. One night, after all this time of hanging out and doing all this, my friend at the time, who I thought was my friend, decided to steal jewelry from my mother. And I didn't know it. And there was a couple people there, and we thought it was one person. And the reason why we thought it was this one person was because he actually gave a Christmas gift to a girl that was worked some movie theater or something.
Yeah.
And nobody understood where he got that from. How the hell did you do that? How did you get this gift?
Yeah.
And he said he stole his bracelet from his sister. I'm like, what? Jeez. Okay, well, thanks for being honest about that, right? So when my mother's jewelry ended up being stolen, I immediately thought it was him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we went to him. We went to his family. His sister tried to come after me and attack me. And until I told her about the bracelet.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. You ever have a bracelet that looks like this or whatever? She's like, yeah. I said, where is it? I don't know why. Go find it. I don't know. I've been looking for it. Why? I know where it is. And I told her where it was. That girl ended up being my best friend for the longest time. And I'm her daughter's godmother.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. You could see something and change your opinion on it. And that just, what Kevin said just reminded me of that.
And it was usually like a good deed. Do you think that really or just getting to know that somebody was a good person that really?
Yeah. Oh, she was ready to try and come kick my ass. She would never have happened.
Yeah.
She's the reason I don't drink.
Yeah.
She's the one who would start an argument with someone and then they'd go back and forth. She'd back up and I'd end up being in front of her and they see me.
Oh, God.
But this is when we were young.
Yeah,
but
I fight my husband's battles. I get so angry at him because I'm like, well, you guys gotta, I had to fight my whole life. I didn't have anybody standing up for me, and and so I naturally just fought for other people. And then when I got together with my husband, he's very passive, right? And so I would see people taking advantage of him, and I'm just like, what the heck, And so I would say something. I believe in honesty and transparency. So I'm like, look, you might not always like what I have to say, but at least you know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to go talk smack behind your back. I'm going to tell it to your face. You might not like it. Some people can't handle it, but I need to work on my delivery sometimes. I know that about myself. I definitely need to work on my delivery because sometimes I do get pretty aggressive, but that also comes in the territory of being a woman in the field of law. If you can imagine that wasn't a fun place to be, Lisa.
Yeah.
In a male dominated profession,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even Peculiar saying she's sarcastic at times. I take things she says as sarcastic.
Who Peculiar or
yeah.
me?
Even today I came in, the first thing I said was, I got the sword. Jeez.
Okay, so I get it. So this was sarcasm, not okay. Now I feel like an asshole. Sorry for my language.
Because
I can't.
You can email each other and talk about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize if I did not take. I obviously understand because people know your personality and I don't, and I took it as literal, and so I apologize. If it, you guys know it when you look at something that's in writing, it's hard to tell. It's, you know what I mean. So I'm sorry if I misconstrued it as serious and literal when it was sarcastic. So in that capacity, I was wrong and I apologize.
Yeah. Why is Robbie saying hello? Where is he? Hi, Robbie. Hi.
Is he down? Where is Robbie?
I don't know. He's saying hello.
Hi, Robbie.
I sent the wrong link. What?
You did, Lisa, because that was the link I had too.
No, but where did I get the link from? I've been in here the whole time. That's weird. All right, hold on. I'm coming, Robbie. That is weird. All right, well, it worked the second time. There we go. Okay. So he should be here any minute then. Hi, Lisa, for the 30th time. Okay. Sorry, hi, Big C. I did get that email, King Paka. Yes, she did, Mary. See, things can be talked out. Yeah. There's a lot of sarcasm in there. No, seriously. Yeah. You can look. There's a couple people that have sarcasm.
You know what? I think if somebody, and she probably did it,
like DRD. Okay, let the interrupting begin. Sarcasm. Yeah. What were you saying?
No, I maybe just put LOL.
You'll come to see who a lot of these people
you guys
are.
Gotta understand,
in
Lisa.
The chats.
You gotta understand. I've been getting brutally attacked for weeks now. I'm on the defense. I'm throwing punches back every direction I can look. Do you understand? And so, if I'm quick to defend, just understand. I've been defending a lot. You see what's going on.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late, but I think Leslie's right when it comes to messing with people's mental health. No one knows how stable anyone is. I think back to a few years ago. One sec.
Thank you for sharing that, Supa. Thank you. It's very true.
To a YouTuber named... Ooh. I don't know who that is. Yes, we've been dealing with it a long time ourselves. Hold on one sec, guys.
Okay. Supa, can I talk to Supa? Or yeah, Supa, thank you for stating that, because it's so true. You guys don't know the pain that I saw in people that were institutionalized, and I fought to get them out of institutions. It's not a place when someone is really struggling with a mental health issue. It's nothing that they want. And to use things like bipolar openly, manic openly, to categorize somebody that you don't understand, it's not right, because you guys are just it ends up facilitating the discrimination, and so many people don't get mental health, especially males. You guys know that males in the United States have the highest suicide rate. And a lot of that is because they refuse. A lot of them are not getting the mental health help that they need, and a lot of it is because of the stigma. I have the stats on all that. Some people handle jokes better than others, but we all don't have the same brain. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's hard too, because things are in writing, and so you can't always tell the tone. It's like when you're talking to people, you can put a laugh in, or you can be like, you can see the sarcasm better than you can in writing,
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Hey, Robbie.
Hello. Hey, Leslie.
Hey.
I can't hear Lisa.
I couldn't hear Lisa. I think she said she'd be right back. Did she? I think she said that, or I don't. She's on mute.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm talking.
Okay. Oh, you're talking.
I was muted.
Yeah.
I was muted until he said you couldn't hear me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then you said I'd be right back. I'm like, Oh my God, I never unmuted myself. Great. But
Hello,
anyway,
everybody. Hello, everybody.
there you go. There you go. So we should ask
I
Robbie
got
one
my
of those
hellos.
questions.
Robbie, can I ask you questions? I was trying to. What I did was I prepared tonight because I think one of the things that could really help people is understanding how to get to the truth, because there's a skill to it, and the courts use it, and a lot of people do not know that skill. And so I had started out with some questions, about to get people kind of thinking. Can I ask you some questions, Robbie?
Shoot.
Okay. How would you go about proving to someone that you did not do something that they were accusing you of?
This has happened to me with the whole germ saga and everything. I just say, come spend time with me and see for yourself.
Okay.
It's that simple. I state my life is an open book. I've always been open about it. I figure everything I went through in my life, I went through it for a reason, whether to teach someone about it or talk about it so people don't make the same mistakes I do. I've always been open with my kids about it, about everything, my drug use when I was younger and everything, how I wish, I could relive things and do it in a sober way, because I think it would have been a lot more fun. But that was the time and it happened. And I try to be as open as I can on everything, and that's the way I live my life.
Let me ask you just a slightly different question. If two
Shoot.
people were to describe the same car accident differently, okay, how do you think the police? How do you think that the police are going to figure out what truly happened? If they're getting two people that were in a wreck, but they're each describing the car accident differently, how is the police going to investigate to get to the truth?
Ooh.
I knew that one would be. That's a little more technical, right?
But there's only two people, right? So you can't use eyewitnesses because there's only two people.
Yeah.
Well,
You can use eyewitnesses?
Yeah, you can if somebody was there.
Oh, you talk to several. You talk to several witnesses and see what the
Let me stop you for a second.
majority.
What would be your best witness? Describe your
vehicle.
Okay. I'm going to give you a scenario. You were driving down the expressway, and a car spun out in a donut in front of you. You hit the car. You both end up on the side of the road, and then a car pulls up behind you to see if you need help. Okay, tell me what would make the car that pulled over the best. Okay, so the car that pulled over.
Well, in my car, the dash cam.
Okay, so you got the dash cam, and if it's another person, is it going to be somebody in your car, someone driving a car along the road that saw it?
An eyewitness.
Okay.
An eyewitness.
Okay, so
the person who pulled up.
What would happen if you had an eyewitness and they were there the whole time? They saw the car, they saw what happened because they were driving behind you, right? And then say that you go to court because you're suing or something, right? You go to court,
right?
And you hire an expert witness to because you guys are each giving two different renditions of the story. So you hire an expert witness to give testimony as to the mechanics of the car and how exactly who was at fault, for however things went down. Do you think that the expert witness would be more credible, or the person that was driving behind you during the accident would be more credible?
Person driving behind me.
And why?
Because they saw everything firsthand as it happened. If something was wrong with the vehicle, that could have been a result of the crash.
So what do you think in the Hales lawsuit? I feel like a school teacher.
Well, there's an example of that one. Chris Z and I were driving to Miami, and the front tire of our car came off.
Yeah.
And thank God I kept the car under control and kept it right down
You were
the.
live.
Yeah, I was live during the whole thing, and the week before it had happened on the turnpike as well, and all three people in the vehicle. There were three people in the vehicle. All three people died because the vehicle flipped. And when the highway patrol pulled up, he was like thought he was talking to Ghost.
Yeah.
But what they saw, how it happened, they saw, because Florida's highways have cameras every mile, I think.
Right.
And they saw it on the cam.
Yeah.
And they saw what happened. My tire came off, and I pulled over to the left against the medium and kept it under control, and the tire actually passed us down the road.
Yeah.
And it was
So obviously
insane.
it would be the cameras.
The cameras, yeah.
So let me ask you this: in the Hales case, okay,
Right.
in the Hales case, how do you think you could tell? I guess you guys subscribers, right? To like, who would be people that would really know the situation for the allegations being stated? Are there witnesses that witnessed this firsthand? Like, tell me how this could kind of
What
transition.
part are you talking about?
Okay, let me start with you, Lisa. Like with the allegations against you, right? And
Against
you were
me.
going to go to
Okay.
you're going to go to court, and you're going to say, well, first of all, you're going to admit the allegation. Well, the Hales case. Here's the problem. You admit the allegations because they're not defamatory, and that's why emotion dismiss
Right.
needs to happen. But say that you did say something defamatory, because you didn't. But say that you did
No,
say
I
something.
didn't.
Say that you called Hales a child molester criminal and told your audience that Hales, did whatever. Just say that you spread it.
I actually did the opposite of that. I told him
So-
he wasn't. But go ahead.
If you did, and then you were like, "Oh, but you denied that you ever did." If Hales was
Right.
going to prove that, what would be his best bet?
If he was going to prove that I did,
if he was going to try to prove, what would be his best bet to getting a witness?
getting my video of me saying it.
And then going to, but then if he wanted to get a secondary witness, who would a secondary witness be? Maybe a member from your audience who heard it in real time,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so let me ask you this.
Or...
Would you ever think that Hales would go to the What the Hales hate group and grab somebody's post that says, "Oh, Lisa's a liar," and she
yeah, 100% he's doing it.
Do you think do you think somebody in What the Hales group hate group that never saw your podcast but is spreading lies about you, do you think they're credible?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
How would they be?
Exactly. But the problem is when you go on to this What the Hales hate group, that's all that's going on and happening. And people are buying into this. And I'm trying to tell you guys that is not credible. You got to go to the source. You got to go to the source. Right. Okay. Another question.
Well, that's why I said, whatever they want to bring up, like, okay, so they filed this case, right? Yeah. And it's like 75 pages. Most of those pages are copies of my videos trying to prove that I've been on this hate rampage thing against him, right? But I can turn around and pull over 200 against Michelle, him against Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, out of all those videos, I'm not defaming him because I don't defame him. I tell the truth. Defaming would be maliciously saying something that I know is a lie. And that never happened. Okay?
Yeah.
So, he can't prove that. But you have people like Shara taking pieces of my shows and cutting them and editing them to make it look like, for instance, Tori was talking about an example, and she made an example as if she was talking to a judge. Well, Shara went and put it on her channel and made it look like Tori did in fact talk to the judge, And then she puts this, big text thing up there saying ex parte communication. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
So what I would do, let's just say that's brought up in court. I will turn around and I will have that entire video and I will tell the judge or the jury to listen to exactly what happened.
Well, that's
And you
like
will
what
see
happened with
what they
me,
did.
Lisa,
So I have all the evidence.
Yeah.
with
Go ahead.
Vague Nation. That's what happened to me with Vague Nation.
Yep.
He's saying I told veterans to kill themselves.
Yeah.
You didn't say a word.
And I said amen.
And that's
when
not what was said.
John,
But that's not what was said.
but that's not what was said, and they deleted parts that were said, and then they
Yeah.
made it sound like I said it, when in fact a veteran who is on my show, John, who is he's retired from
Good
the
night,
Army
Dusty, old
and
dude.
the Marines, and he said any veterans attacking children. They took out attacking children and put it together and said it was me saying it. So we did a total transcript of it, and then we left the video up. Go see it for yourself.
Exactly, Boudica. Exactly.
Go see what was said.
Yep.
And we left the proof up there. And that's how John feels. And I have
No, I
no
didn't,
use for
Todd.
people that attack children.
Yeah.
I would go with the expert because everyone recalls how something happened in a different way, especially a crash that happens very quickly.
So let me ask you guys a question. Here's one. Here's a good question. It's coming from the psychology AI.
Oh, you did a psych AI thing?
Yeah, you guys know that psych AI is a good one, right? So my question to psych AI is, give me questions about finding out the truth when online trolling is occurring. Okay, so this is what psych AI is asking me to ask you guys, and have all of us think about, right?
Right.
All right, so it says, okay, hold on. I'm trying to find a really good one. I just had one that I said. Okay, so why do you think people fall for obvious trolls or fake news, even when the truth is easy to check?
Because people love drama.
What
There you go.
think, Lisa?
I think it's because they either trust where it's coming from and they don't want to go research themselves. Sometimes they can be too lazy to research themselves.
You nailed one of the. You want to hear what AI psychology says?
Wow.
Why people do this? They said because it opens up discussions, which that helps with their emotional triggers. They want to talk to people, and they emotional trigger. They want an echo chamber to reinforce echo of what they're
Did they
saying.
actually use that word?
Yeah, then they don't want to, they're lazy and don't want to place any effort.
Right.
So you were right. Okay, another question. See if you guys can get it. How do you decide which sources to trust when there's so much conflicting information online?
How do you decide
what sources to trust when there's so much conflicting information online?
I'm sorry, I was reading that comment, Leslie.
People who put up, evidence. People who can back what they're saying.
Exactly.
I missed the question. I was reading
That's
this
okay.
one.
Okay, so how do you decide which sources? Like, for instance, you got to figure there's YouTube channels. There's your YouTube channel. All these people out there, people on their side. So how to the average person that is coming into this, how should they decide which source to trust when there's so much conflicting information online?
I think people need to open their ears, their minds, and watch both sides. It doesn't mean my channel, could be anybody's channel, but watch both sides of the scenario and make up their minds themselves. What makes more sense to them? That's what I think. That's what I've been saying all along.
What do you think, Robbie?
I think it's the person that's showing the research, and you have to research it as well.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't.
No, they don't vent anything.
No, not even journalists, online journalists.
Is there, you know, because I was attempting, but obviously I got brutally attacked. I was attempting to provide an investigative neutral forum, but you guys saw how that turned out. Is there anything out there that would be like, you know, an investigative neutral forum?
against YouTubers and residents.
I don't know. Lisa's provided documents and everything, and you can
I agree.
look up the documents.
No, I think it really helps when you show. The problem though with the documents, which is where I think it's great, because Lisa, you have me, you have Bruce, you have Rich. Sometimes legal documents, you know what I mean, you got to have, because they can be hard to interpret sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have a handful of people that with legal backgrounds or legal education to interpret those should they need to be interpreted. You know what I mean? To be broken down so people can understand what they're saying sometimes, you know? And I think you're very good. I think it was great what you did. I think what you did tonight was brilliant with the showing the actual words.
Right.
Yes, Hannah.
Yeah, I'll show it again. 1 second. Description, where is it? Jody, it's March 31st. It's a
Carrie
short.
was the lemurs.
March 31st. It's a short, and it says, breaking news. One defendant turns on other 9 defendants. That's the short that it's from. Okay. Found that. Sorry.
You know, and with Jeremy, it's easy because all you got to do is go back to old videos and see what he says. He contradicts himself constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone had a good point, Lisa, in your chat.
Robbie, go ahead.
It was a really good point. It had controversy. They were talking about controversy. And I want to understand, and I would love to know from the audience, you know, from the viewers, what they would believe would be controversy. Like, what would define a controversial person? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think that was a really good point someone said. It was like a couple comments up.
A person who opens their mouth and lies every time they say something.
So is that why he's getting the views, because he's lying? So
he's drama.
It's drama.
He's drama. He's attacking people. He's making a living off of causing drama with people and then taking it. These people, they're part of his script and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Look, if you go and you are, for instance, let me just go there. I was just there to find that short. Dang it. I gotta pull it back up. If you go and you look at his thumbnails for his videos, right? Let me just pull it up while I'm doing that. Okay. And you see, let me get in the videos. Okay. Like today. Wow, really? 29,000 views so far for a video, thumbnail that says such sad news. Right?
Yeah.
Then you have 46,000 views for hired a new employee. Then you go and you have a video with a thumbnail of John and Michelle's face and a judge image on it. It has 69,000 views. So you're talking a difference in 20,000 views.
Lisa, when I go and click on, the content's boring. It's not anything that what the thumbnail said.
It's clickbait. He
It's
clickbaits
called
all the
clickbait.
time.
Is that called clickbait? Okay.
Yeah, it's called clickbait.
He clickbaits all the time. Here's one right here. Huge win for us today. Official documents. It's a freaking storage unit.
So he's doing clickbait on his thumbnails, and that's
totally.
Because when I first went to his site, I remember the thumbnail stood out, so I was like, oh, I want to find out what this is about, right? And I would click on it, and it was boring. It had nothing to do with what the thumbnail said. And and then I would try another thumbnail and it'd be the same thing. And I finally just said, this is boring. I don't even want to watch it, you know?
Well, check out this thumbnail. It's a picture of him and Bruce with the fake long nose, right?
Yeah.
With a judge's, desk behind them. And the title is, on the thumbnail, it says, "He's so mad." The title of the video is "He's so mad at what's in this storage unit."
Yeah.
It's like, what does Bruce have to do with your storage units? Absolutely nothing.
It's marketing. Marketing. No, but that.
It's and he
Well,
does this.
That's 100% clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did, but mine wasn't clickbait. I said, reporter Megan Fox lies again to her audience. And I got a lot of.
Well, that's a daily occurrence, so it's not clickbait.
It's not clickbait. No, yeah.
Now, if you go to my channel and you look at the videos, you'll see, actually the lives. Okay.
Yeah.
Mischief Mondays. That's what we're doing, right? Sunday Spun Day. That's not a lie. We talk about the spinning that goes on every Sunday. Let's test stuff and have fun. That's me trying to figure out the Crayola. Spoilation notices have gone out. That's truth there. An order is in. A bonus. A win. I got that from you, by the way, with the Dr. Seuss. Germ threatens journalists. Federal 2 case, motion to dismiss, anti-slap, obstructing and pardons. That was with the Grizzlies and stuff. Tis tis tug boy, the convincer of lies. Like, I'm not clickbaiting nobody.
Yeah.
I'm making a blunt title to what we plan to discuss that evening on the show. I'm not clickbaiting anything.
I had quite a thumbnail today after listening to Jeremy's live yesterday. Can I tell you the quote? I've got money for me. My caption is, "I've got money, baby."
I've got money, babe. That's fine. The fact that she just got the baby. She got the baby part. See, it's funny because she's catching everything that they've done.
Yeah.
They've been doing for a while. So she's catching it and she's throwing it in her satire and parody, which is fine.
Robbie, Jeremy
Yeah.
says last night during his live, and I know it was directed. Lisa, was it not directed at me? Because it had to be, right? Because he said lips, and then he went on this thing about it. But
you're echoing.
Oh, am I echoing? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he was talking about me, right? About this money thing. Can you explain it? Because do you know what I'm talking about, right? He was basically insinuating that I'm obsessed with him, in love with him.
Yeah, all these he was talking about you.
Yeah.
And then he went into all his haters are obsessed with him. They all want his money.
And they want his money.
Everybody. He thinks every woman on the planet's obsessed with him. So.
Oh God, gross.
Robbie, I gotta send you a couple of videos I did today. You'll laugh your butt off.
All right. He thinks he looks like what's his name? From Backstreet Boys.
Brian.
Or
Oh.
Brian
in sync.
Insane. Oh, Brian. Because I knew these guys. He doesn't look like him because I knew him and I knew his girlfriend and we used to hang out together.
Yeah,
maybe
he-
he was younger. I don't know.
Nick Lachey.
He thinks he looks like him?
Yeah.
No.
He used to say it all the time.
Crazy.
Yeah, no.
He looks like a spinning image of my brother. And even
Yeah,
after-
no, he does not look like Nick Lachey or Lakey.
He used to say it all the time.
Did he look like Nick?
Yeah, he's
Nicholas?
dreaming. That's 98 degrees.
I'm looking at him. Wait. The way I made him look in this one video before he turns into Mr. Hung Donkey,
Uh-huh.
because he starts out as an ice prince, right? In the ice prince picture, he does look like Nick Lachey, but then he turns into Mr. Hung Donkey midway through the video.
Yeah, he thinks you're obsessed with his package.
Oh my god. You got the video, it goes up to the diaper. Oh my god, it's so funny. No, I think I'm not obsessed with this pack. Does he think that did he say that? Lisa, I didn't even listen if he did say that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he says everybody's obsessed with his what was the word he used? I forget. I was just laughing.
Oh my god.
No, nobody gives a shit. Your girlfriend don't even give a shit. Come on.
Good god. That's funny.
Yeah.
Now my mom
He
is
calls
sitting
himself
here
a
talking.
goat.
Goat boy.
And she goes, I've never called you a goat.
Where did the goat come from? I just happened to make a video about DJ Radis looking like a goat. And all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
talking about goats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he said that yesterday, right, Lisa? You said he called himself a goat yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He called himself a goat. He got
Greatest of
he
all
was showing his
time.
ego. Yeah, he was showing his ego, and then he backstepped it. He was like, well, let me explain. I don't think I'm all that type stuff, but he does.
Yes, he does. 100%.
I'm older now and I'm, but then he's like,
Oh, he called himself an old man.
he's like, I'm an old man now. And then he goes, "But let me
That
get
Super
this
Dave
straight."
is bullying an old man.
Yeah. And he's like, let me get this straight. Something like I don't remember the exact words.
I'm
but-
sorry, Starbucks.
Yeah, it's like Lips is like obsessed with me, but that that would never this. And he's like, and then he goes on to this thing about
Oh, yeah,
how
that'll never happen.
that will never happen, as if I'm
Yeah, it's like,
wanting to
dude.
get something going. and then he's what else? That's when he gets into the whole money thing, and I'm like, what in the world is he talking about?
Yeah, that we're obsessed with him, that we want him.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, good God, no.
A Plea Lips of Flips, Plea or whatever, Plea Lips.
You couldn't pay me to go hang out with him. I have a question. Hey, George, since I know you're listening, have you ever been driving with Jeremy somewhere and he wanted to do something or wanted you to talk to him or just have a conversation and you didn't feel like it and he locked you in the car? Maybe like pulled over, parked the car, and wouldn't move until you did. Just curious. I'm just curious.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because apparently he's done that to people. Another
My problem is
controlling thing he does.
many of these cartoons. Every time you talk about his name, I think about Mr. Hung Donkey popping up on the screen. I just can't stop looking at him like that. That's so funny.
He has, Christy. I've talked to two
Sorry.
different people that
Sorry,
have said he's
Sully
done
Paul.
that to them.
Done
It
what?
seems most of his followers are from the UK. He'll be driving with them, and I don't want to say what he asked of them because I just don't want to say. Okay, but they didn't feel like doing what he asked of him, So he pulled the vehicle over, locked the doors, and wouldn't move and go anywhere until they did what he wanted him to do. And you can take that any
What?
which way you want. But yeah. Oh, yeah. So if he's done it to two people,
Wait.
he
I
had
just
to
got
have done it to George.
Wait. Back up. I just got I zoned out for 1 second, and then I heard the tail end of that, and I was like, what? No, Lisa. Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow, man. That's not cool.
Now, hang on. I know we all got dirty minds here.
Okay.
Don't go that route.
Oh, don't.
It's
Okay.
not no, don't go that route. It's not
We
a
all have
dirty
dirty
thing.
minds.
But to me, that's like a little form of entrapment, trapping somebody,
False imprisonment.
kidnapping in a way,
False imprisonment.
holding prisoner. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's don't go dirty. It's not dirty. It definitely sounded it. No, it's not
wonder-
dirty.
Yeah. I wonder if he engages in what's called coercive control. That'd be
I
interesting.
believe so. And you know what he uses to do it?
What?
God.
That there's a form of coercive control that deals with religion, by the way.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna tell you. He asked different people
Yeah.
to pray for him at that very moment. To pray.
No.
To stop and say a prayer. And they were obviously in some kind of a mood because he put them there. And two different people didn't feel like doing that at the moment.
That sounds
So he
like
pulled the
you know how you,
vehicle over,
you know how you hear those things on Netflix?
sat in the parking lot, locked the doors, and said they were not going anywhere.
Now, let me
They're going to
ask you a
stay right
question.
where they are until they prayed for him.
Whoa. Let me ask you a question. Were these
Mm-hmm.
like people that like serious, like I'm in love with you, or were these like just dating type of situations?
He had a relationship with both of them.
Okay. I just wondered about that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Who knows who else he did it with?
He is a character. I'm sorry. Like, I swear to God.
He has an ego trip. He thinks he's all that.
But that's what's so funny is that it's so ridiculous. What I find comical about him is that you're telling me from what people have told me, because I don't know him to know his personality, but he doesn't like, he might crack jokes right on his show, but he's not one to really get into witty humor and like take like a roast. Like I'm roasting.
He
him
did
right
that
now,
to
right?
George? Sorry, Leslie.
What?
He did it to George? No way.
Wait, what was
Oh,
the
they wouldn't be
tweet?
walking, Lori, because he didn't let them out of the car. He locked the doors and locked them in the car.
Some Diddy type stuff.
Yeah, right.
That's what Mother says. Mother.
I didn't know he did it to George.
Hold on, Lisa. I'll be right back. Something's wrong with my
All
phone.
right.
I'm gonna restart it.
No, but
All right.
Lisa, like he doesn't
Yeah.
seem like I've been roasting him and just having an absolute blast doing it, because what he doesn't realize is I'm obsessed with. I used to roast my husband. Do you understand? And my husband's so happy that he's not being roasted anymore, because I would roast these random, like I would take random videos of him doing random things and I'd make him look ridiculous, and then I would send it from his phone to his ex-girlfriend, and then I would delete it. And then the girl would text back and she'd be like, "Why did you send that to me?" And I'd be like, "Oh, don't I look really hot?" So my husband is relieved that I'm not doing it to him anymore. But he doesn't seem like Jeremy doesn't seem like he seems like he could dish it out, but he might not be able to take it. But that's what I find. Is that true?
That's what we're doing.
That's what I find to be so comical about this, because I've depicted him in the most ridiculous manners. And I mean, I think to a funny person, they would just laugh about it because it's not mean, it's funny, right?
Right.
But I'm thinking of him and I'm thinking like he could dish it out, but when it comes back at him, I just would love to see his expression as he's watching the video.
So, okay. So for 2 years, he's been dishing all this shit out, he's telling us about his life.
Yeah.
Okay. Holding people accountable. Okay. But
Yeah.
yet all he's really done is told everybody listening to him about these other people's lives that he really doesn't know,
Yeah.
but acting like he knows
Yeah.
and talking about them for 2 years. Okay? Negatively. They're bad people. They're bad this. Everything's bad. They've done this. They've done that. They do this to me. They do that to me. But he's not proven that they've done anything to him.
Yeah.
He just keeps saying it. Right?
See, I don't like the context of this is like, that's not humorous. Like, it's not humorous to call someone bad. Okay. Like, like for instance, you can call me lips. You can laugh at me, poke fun of all that.
Right.
That's humorous. People get a laugh out of it. I can call him Mr. Hung Donkey and have a diaper.
He can call me a flea.
He can call you a
He can
flea.
call me a walrus.
Yeah, that
You call
stuff
me
is-
a man, you're lying. That's defaming.
Yeah, when you start crossing that line, right? So
But there's certain things he could say. You
Well,
can
you
call me a
somebody
liar. You
bad,
can call
when
me
you-
a fraud.
well, when you
You can call me
attack
all
your-
that.
Yeah, when you attack
But when you
your
say
character-
something you know is not true,
yeah,
and you're doing it anyway, and in his case, it's malicious,
yeah.
that's defaming.
Well, see, you can't like when you attack someone's character, okay? Like you attack somebody, saying they're bad and whatever, or whatever. You know that is where it crosses the line, unless of course, like I did call Megan a liar because she did lie. She did lie.
Right,
Okay,
she's
that's
a
not.
liar.
I'm not making
But
that
even
up.
calling
Because,
her a liar isn't defaming her.
no, because I have the truth to
Whether-
prove it.
She did lie. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But even if you think she's a liar, that's your opinion. Okay? So that wouldn't even be defaming.
Yeah.
If you said she lied about
Yeah.
this specific thing and you knew she didn't, maybe it would be. But calling her a liar is your opinion of her.
Well, when you
He
start
cannot
knocking,
say,
Yeah.
I'm a man. And
no,
say
saying someone's a man,
that's his
horrible.
opinion of me.
Yeah,
Because he knows I'm not.
exactly.
He wouldn't know what I
what she's
looked
done
like
with
in
my
person
license.
unless he looked at his cameras.
Look what she's done with my license. She's supposed to be this neutral reporter. She knows that I'm in receipt of an affidavit from my bar, giving me unique circumstances to my situation. Yet she doesn't contact me. She calls the bar and gets generalizations about what they typically do with retirements and this and that. And then she goes and broadcasts it all over the air. That is defamation, because she's actually hurting my business reputation. Because disbarment is a big deal. And to put my name with disbarment, it's like, I would like to ask her, what exactly did I do to be disbarred? I'd love to know that. What facts were found against me that I was going to be disbarred? I mean, disbarment's a pretty big allegation to make against somebody. And you've got to have to done
I'd like
something
to know
what?
if she's a journalist, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to know where all her publications are. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff going on with Diddy, Karen Reed, the Daybell cases, since she likes cases. But there's so much going on, even politically.
Yeah.
Where are her articles?
Yeah.
What the hell is she writing about?
Yeah.
Where is this journalist? Is this all about germ?
I just,
You know?
That's what I don't understand. She claims to be a journalist, and how come
She's
you're
not.
pulling
Oh,
up
I
all
gotta- I
this
gotta-
stuff?
I got to say something funny. She goes on the air the other night. And she's like, and legally, Leslie, she said I was on her channel and that I did this with her and that with her. I didn't, dumbass. I didn't have legally Leslie as my name back then. I had lawyer Leslie. You know what I mean? And it was a different
Lawyer
channel.
Leslie.
What? No, it was lawyer Leslie. And it was,
Right.
she's going legally. No, I didn't have legally Leslie back then. So yeah, of course you're not going to know who I am as far as you go legally Leslie. I was known as lawyer Leslie.
She knows your name, Megan knows
Yeah.
her name,
Yeah.
right? She knew who you were. She backed you like proficiently. I mean, she was
She
totally
did.
backing
She
you,
did more than one
promoting you.
interview.
She
And
knew
it was-
exactly who you were.
Yeah, she did more than because I knew because I was when Michael Volpe, I got introduced to Michael Volpe and he said, oh, he's doing this thing with this Megan Fox. and I thought, oh, the real Megan Fox, right? And I was like, oh my God, just kidding. I knew it couldn't have been her, but and
Right.
so the name stood out just because, obviously the name Megan Fox, when you think of that really beautiful Megan Fox,
It's gotta
but
suck to have that name for her.
that would really
I'm
suck.
sorry.
Like, oh man. And it was like, yeah, that wouldn't have been, yeah. But no,
Exactly.
You know,
Mother
everybody
of
that
birds.
sees her as everyone that hears that and then meets her, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
all disappointed and shit.
yeah. No, she's,
And,
I don't
dude,
know,
that's her
man.
married name. She didn't have to change her name.
Yeah.
If she was a reporter, she could have kept her maiden name.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do that to herself. I
Was
mean,
she, let me ask you, who did she report for? Who did she, I don't
she
know.
probably
anything
thought it
about
would
her.
work for her.
What?
Who did she work for?
Well, was she like reporting for a news station? Like, who was she reporting? Was she working for a publication?
PJ Media. I've heard it called Pajama Media. I don't know.
I haven't heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. But until I found out who she was. I never even heard of her before.
Well, I just assumed, I didn't think she was anybody. Like, I just, I thought Michael Volpe was somebody, but I didn't know who she was. And, like I said, I hadn't heard her name in years, and I only remembered her name because of the Megan Fox name. But I did know that she did more than one interview with me. And I did know that the articles were in support of me. So, it was shocking, and then I even reminded her of that when I emailed her. I was like, oh, remember I was on this case. I was the lawyer on this case and that case, whatever. But, she wants to, and then, she called me a crazy bitch on her podcast the other night. Did you know this?
She's a crazy bitch.
That girl looks like she's an atomic bomb about to explode. Like, her face looks like, I don't even know, but she looks like she's like holding in tension,
Well, it's really funny because she talks about like the characters I have in the thumbnails, right? And Germ does too. And they're trying to say we don't look anything like our characters. Well, first of all, Kendra does. But my hair is exactly that. It's a little more brown than the burgundy. Like it's like a reddish brown.
Yeah.
But they're characters of us. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you notice, some of them are fatter than the others, but the same similar look.
Yeah.
Right? And they're attacking me because it's not me. Right?
Yeah.
Well, duh. No, it's not. It's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
But she goes and puts this super slim, like spandex wearing superhuman person with like this fiery red hair and glowing eyes, and it's supposed to be her. And that's okay.
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to have characters of ourselves,
Yeah.
but she is.
Yeah.
Tug, who wears a comic book, I guess he tries to think he's a superhero or a comic. He wears that all the time. He hides his face. And if you saw real pictures of him, you could see why.
Well,
Megan
I
should
told
do
you
the same
it
thing.
looks like a bee hole, the face. I can't stop every time I see the mask, I can't help but think, I don't want to say the real word, but
No.
although I did curse earlier, I apologize. I was a little heated.
No.
No, but he did it looks like a bee hole. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, like, I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah. But it's like, they want to criticize what everybody else looks like. So God forbid I make a joke about the fact that when I look at her, all I see is teeth and a jaw, right?
Yeah.
And coming out of that mouth is nothing but bullshit. You know? She speculates and goes into these wild, unrealistic scenarios about these court cases.
Yeah.
And the judge. And now she's Miss Munchausen. And now her sources are so credible. But yet, Shara is the most credible witness they have. Germ's own words. But I can show you a video of Germ on the phone with Shara, slamming the shit out of her, and her not being a journalist. I mean, and so it's like, I have two separate videos of him saying two separate things
Yeah.
about Char.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, this is your witness. Then we have Shara giving Germ all these screenshots of private conversations with Michelle,
Yeah.
of privilege information, because she was on the legal team with Bruce. But in these, she's removed everything she said, which takes all the conversation out of context.
Yeah.
You know, and it's making it look like, you know, they said this, they said that. Now, she loves to answer questions with a question. So who knows what the hell she said that made Michelle or Bruce respond the way they did.
Yeah.
She's removed what she said. She's done it.
Hold on, I'll be
with-
right back. My phone's messing up
All right.
again.
Yeah.
All right. She's done it with those conversations. She's done it with group conversations that other people were a part of.
Wow.
So there's group conversations where she's deleted what she said, but other people already had saved what she said before
Yeah.
it was deleted.
Yeah.
So, yes, Spirit, I am getting your emails. So, their big witness is not credible at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
She's a journalist. She asked a couple questions on a video,
Yeah.
in a comment section of a video, and somehow says that that's her interview with me. Excuse you? What interview? Where did you get your journalist certification, or, you know, like, where did you get this?
Yeah.
Where do you say you're a journalist? Where are you publicized? You mean you've been calling yourself a journalist for over 2 years, and your big story is the Otter Creek Golden Key that you have never posted nothing about until you flipped on Jeremy. I'm sorry, on Michelle. You pretended to be a friend and flipped because Tully's came out talking about this case. And, you know, with trying to find and dig for information about it, everything was looking more credible on Michelle's side than Germ's.
Yeah.
And she would flip out. There's conversations with her, Michelle, and her and Bruce, and I don't think that should be talked about. I don't believe this, blah, 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 all this stuff. Okay? And I've never had a conversation with her at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she was talking about me to them for like a month and a half or something.
Wow.
And finally one day came in my chat and said something negatively because I watched the town hall meeting. She thought I was going to start talking about the town hall and what her original Golden Key story was about.
Yeah.
And it's like, first off, any journalist can do that. I never called myself a journalist. But if I'm going to report on what's going on, I can easily go into that town hall and report on the water stuff or the stuff that they're attacking, you know, with the mayor and Jeremy's involvement in it. You're not talking about it. Do you think it's just going to sit around for another 2 years when you got this story you're sitting on and saying nothing? Well, I think you had a long enough period of time to come out with your story, and you didn't. So expect someone's going to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of surprising. It's a small town, but you know what? All this shit's going on, and he's wronging these people. She knew it at the time because she played into it.
Yeah.
But she never spoke about it, as she told Michelle and John she would.
Yeah.
Instead, she went to Jeremy, flipped back, which actually makes me think that she was purposely there for Jeremy all along.
Yeah.
Okay? But she makes it appear like she's flipping back and is just so concerned about the child. So concerned. And also at the fact that a hitman was requested or something. And in my brain, I'm thinking, if you took some hitman story seriously,
Yeah.
why on earth did you not call the cops? If you thought something was wrong with the child, why on earth did you not call the cops?
Yeah.
She says she called CPS once. Okay, why didn't you call the cops? You talked about guns being in the house or whatever. Why didn't you call cops?
Awesome,
Why
Mike.
did you wait and sit on everything you supposedly knew? And all of a sudden you come forward. And by the way, she was scared shit that Jerem was going to sue her. Scared shit. She was afraid of being forced to come to Florida to go to court.
Oh my God.
And that's, I can quote her on that.
Well,
But then she started going in on me.
yeah. Well, I'm not, listen, I might have taken her out of the lawsuit now. It doesn't mean I can't put her back in. And she
That's
continues.
Shara.
Well,
But
here's the
Megan,
thing. I told you I have a statute of limitations a couple years on that. So
right.
I can pull her back in if she wants to continue her charade of lies. Like I said, I don't care. You want to make fun of my lips, you want to do stupid stuff like that, I can take that, but don't you dare take my license and distort the information and not come to me and ask me for a copy of the affidavit, because that is
It's
reckless.
public record.
It is
We've
reckless.
already showed it.
It's reckless. That you don't go that in reckless is an element for defamation. You can be intentional or you can be reckless when you do it. It's very easy. She knows that I have an affidavit that says exactly everything I've stated. She knows about this, and she is going out there disseminating false statements based on her phone call to the bar on general policies and things to
Awesome,
do
Mike.
with retirees. You know what I mean? She's not asked for my affidavit.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
She don't care what the truth is. She's
No.
going with what she said. She needs to make the money. She knows drama sells. She knows that's why people are listening to her or Tug. And that's why she goes on Tug, because Tug has more viewers than her.
Yeah.
And together they sound like believable. There's two of them together, like making up all this
Thanks,
shit.
Robert.
Does he have a weird voice to you, or is it just me?
Oh, no, he's very weird.
Okay, I was
Very
wondering.
weird. I can't listen to him.
Yeah, it's kind of
I've only heard him a
find
couple
that-
times.
I can't listen to
And
a
he's-
lot of people.
He's got that nasally.
Yeah, it's almost irritating to listen to.
And when he talks, he'll say a sentence and he'll laugh to himself.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's
Yeah.
laughing
Okay.
and cracking himself up, and it's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he really
It's
like you laugh?
is there
because
something funny there?
Yeah, there's nothing
What are
funny
you
said, and
laughing
he's
at?
just dying laughing, and I'm like, or chuckling, I would call it chuckling, right?
Yeah.
But it's like there's
Yeah.
nothing funny. It's nothing funny, or it's like the stupidest thing, and it's like, and he's just over there just laughing away, and I'm like, what the? And I'm like, am I in reality?
But he knows how to get his viewer and keep them going.
What does
He
he do?
entices them.
Yeah.
He eggs Megan on. And if she went back and listened to how he talks to her,
Yeah.
she'll see that herself. He actually eggs her on
Wow.
and he entices her. I'm like, wow. Because I did not watch him. I
just want him to
watched
say,
very
I am Cornholio.
few.
I bet it sounds
That's
just
why
like
I
that.
want to talk to this girl, Vicky. I did? Oh my God, sorry. But I want to talk to this girl. Her name is Vicky. She has a channel, D&V Investigates. That's who you were talking about before.
Yeah.
She knows him. How personally, I'm not really sure. But apparently he went after her.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
what she said.
And so I want to know more about that because he's got a pattern. I want to know what that pattern is. I mean, we can generally see it now, but the more people he's done it to, the more credible what he's doing is. You know what I mean? And
I was gonna say she
Hi, Pebs.
when she was reporting on it at one point, it almost sounded as if he's like
Prayers, Hannah.
he's like got this thing against women in a sense. That's how she
Yeah.
kind of implied. Like he's very disrespectful to women.
Well, to see it or to see him,
Yeah.
you could almost think
John
that-
Cap.
maybe he didn't get any when he was younger. I don't know. Just kidding.
See, I always have a theory. You know what I'm thinking. You know,
Yes,
like
she
when-
is, Pebs.
Yeah.
She
was-
goes by, she has two channels that I know of.
Yeah.
One is Vicky Verse. I believe it's Vikki Verse, Verse. And then she has D as in dog and V, Vicky, Investigates.
Yeah.
Can you what? He's not fascinating. No, that's the other thing. He always says that. It's fascinating. Everything's fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yeah. But like one thing I heard Vicky say was that he used to go live and use his kids to get super chats.
What?
And yeah, oh yeah. And then he would privatize when the live was over, he'd
Yeah.
privatize the lives. And I'm like, that's weird. And I've never seen him do that. But then again, I never watched, right? So the other night when he was going after you and I had to record it and I'm listening to it, I saw he did that.
Yeah.
But now I have somebody else recording them like while they're live.
Yeah.
And they got the original from the other night. And when he was done, he privatized it. I said, why is he doing that? What did he do? I said, what did he say in the video? And it turns out at the end of his live, he had his kid on there.
Yeah.
And he was getting super chats. So
Just you and your
a
old-
little while later, his video was back up and he had edited it and removed his kids out at the end of it.
Oh my God.
So using the kids to beg for super chats is what he removed. And apparently he wasn't getting a lot of super chats during the whole live.
Wow.
So I still haven't watched that one. But so
Well,
what
Lisa, I was
Vicky
gonna tell you,
said was true.
I have to because I have that jury room tomorrow. We have jury room.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't
10
changed
a.m..
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably have to go to bed soon because I'm gonna be tired. Just thought about that. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night either.
I hear ya.
Yeah, but
I hear
I
ya.
wanted to probably because Robbie's on, and
Yeah.
I'll
we're
probably
good.
need to go because I gotta get.
We
some
got
sleep so I
this.
can- because I got to get the studio room set up, like.
I hear you. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., guys, on Legally Leslie, and you'll find it here as long
Yes.
as I'm awake,
Yeah.
is the jury room. And here's a little intro for you.
What do you mean?
Awesome, Lisa. Thank you so much, and you did such an awesome job with the helping me with that video too. So thank you.
Oh,
I
you're
love it.
welcome.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, Robbie, it was so nice to see you or to see you chat with
Bye, honey.
Thank you again, and thank you guys, everybody. And I'm falling asleep. I gotta go to sleep. So
It's late.
yes,
I always do the late night stuff.
yes. You were made fun of that too, by the way. They were making fun of us
Why?
for being up at 2 a.m. on a live somewhere.
Who
I heard.
cares? Just because they can't handle it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Guess what? Some people are up that late.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
if they're not, that's fine. But
Good
here's
night,
the thing:
Bree. Good night,
the
Hales.
later I
We
go
said
on,
that your,
I have
your
all the information of the day to talk about.
your
Exactly.
chat is showing up twice.
All right, guys. Well, good night,
Because I have it
everybody.
showing.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody. And I'll
Good
talk
night.
to you later. All right. Bye, guys.
Good night,
Good
lovely.
night. Good night, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.
So, ow. Anyway, you still there?
Yeah.
Robbie? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Making sure.
Am I all here? No.
Yeah, it was cool for the questions that she was asking. I like that. We're gonna have more topics to go over that are not gonna be so Hales related. It's just that
Oh,
everything we're
please.
talking about right now goes along with the whole Hales case, So, I wanted to show the new graphics. Dang.
New
Oh,
what?
fun mail. I have new graphics. We have
Hi, Flut
Hot
Flut.
Lips Felisa. I got lots of new graphics. I have here. Let me show you. I think I have to put these on the title though,
Sorry, Connie.
or actually on the graphics. But we have names for them. Dr. Lips Felisa, DDS.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I have to name them, make sure they're in order. Because when I download them, I don't know if they're in order. So I have to name them first, like rename them, and then I'll show them. That way I know which is which. But the titles and what each represents is pretty funny. We need to focus on Michelle's case, Lisa. Which one are you talking about? Because the new lawyer is going to be handling the cases in Levy County and the federal cases, not the Ohio case. So, which case are you referring to? All of them? I don't talk a lot about the thumbnails case or what's the other one? Levy County? Thumbnail Trespass 5. And the reason why is because I know why it was voluntarily dismissed. So I know exactly the reason. So them going after sanctions and stuff to me is real funny. But this lawyer is going to take care of that. So it's going to be nipped in the bud. And is there any barn updates? Well, actually, right now, I can't
Thank
tell
you, Ray.
because people are listening. So, but the barn is getting ready to be framed. And once that's done, the electric will be finished because there is electric there. And there's plumbing there. And there's toilets there. And then that gets worked on along with the insulation, drywall,
Congratulations,
and both.
Bearded.
So something was needed that was supposed to be there and was not.
Thank you,
That's
Robert.
kind of all I can say. But now it's going to be there. So, yeah. I can't say certain things because people are listening.
Clutch.
It's that simple. When is the clickbait bid coming out? What clickbait bid? But don't you want people to know that work is being done? Right now, there is material there waiting to be done. And there is something that has to be we were gonna just like forget it and do it anyway, but now that it's come up again, we're gonna make sure it's there first. So, without saying what it is.
Whoa, secret
Yeah,
squirrels.
so, guys, it's not easy getting people, number one, that want to go to Otter Creek. I can tell you that. The people that are there and are around there want nothing to do with this scenario, with the Hales and all that. So you got to go outside of the county to find people that'll go there and work. There's a lot of stuff. But it's getting done. So. Anything else? I feel like they're testing me. No, but unfortunately, yeah, I can't say it because people are listening. Sorry. Wish I could. When does court actually start? Which one? I'm avoiding Hales out of Creek. I'm going south. Well, put it this way, guys, just to prove what I'm trying to say. When we were getting the survey for Tina's house for the property, it took so long to find a survey company that would come there. And the one that did had already been there and didn't want to go back. But we got them to go. So, let me see. Whatever. So then why do we ask questions if no one can answer? Well, there's certain questions I can answer. You want to email me? I'll answer, but I'm not going to answer it publicly when there's a whole bunch of trolls, Germ, George, those people that cause problems for Michelle and John. I'm not going to say things that they're going to take and twist and try and cause even more problems. So that's why I can't say anything.
And as it's happening, you guys will learn about it.
Yeah, trust me. We want to show you the barn. But it's there's nothing to show at this moment other than what I've already shown. So I can sit here and tell you things that are going on or what happened or what didn't happen. But if I do that, I'm feeding germ. And I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to ruin something that he will think he can step in on and either stop it, create drama over it. I'm not going to do that.
So do we know when the first court case is, any court thing's going to happen?
Yeah, thank you, Pamela. Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying not to do. But it's hard because I'll answer that in a sec. It's hard because people have donated. People have seen, they want to see it get done. And I get that. I can just tell you it's going to get done. There's material sitting there. I mean, what are we going to do with it, right? It has to get done. So.
That's what I'm trying to find out, Ed.
I know. The first court case. Okay, so from what I understand, the 12th is I could be wrong on the date, guys. The 12th is another conference call in regards to the federal case 1. I don't know if something is going to be done with this new lawyer by then. But the court will be updated. So that's federal case 1. I do know that Michelle and John need to put a response in on federal case 2 on the trespass and or thumbnails case where they're trying to get sent. Okay, wait, the trespass is done. It's now Granger's versus Michelle. Okay. That's the one that's going to be handled. So I guess they're going after her for sanctions on both cases. and there's an 18th court date or hearing. Yes, the 18th is a hearing. Thank you, Pebs. And by the
Thank you, Jennifer.
18th, this lawyer should be able to
Thank you, Terry.
state what's happening. So Jeremy can think it's going to be a certain way. He could think that the lawyer, whoever it is going to blow his mind. And it's not. Fed 1 is the 18th? Which one's the 12th? Hang on. Is it a hearing or a conference? Where's Bruce? Hold on, I don't know. He might be sleeping. I can go look. February 1 is the 18th. Are you sure? Hold on. I'll pull it up. I don't really follow the Levy County ones. That one's I get from Bruce or John Michelle. Because to me, it's a joke.
It is a Zoom meeting, a Zoom hearing on the 18th,
For Federal 1 case?
I guess. Federal 2
See, I thought
is
that-
the 12th.
Okay, so I mixed it up. All right. See, hold on. Federal 2 is a 12 for who? Hold on. Let me look it up. Florida Northern District. It's gonna take a sec. That's because of the delay. Really, the Grangers are going after Michelle from Trust? Yes. And they know they're not going to get anything.
What are they going after Michelle for?
For filing the lawsuit against them. It was dismissed voluntarily, without prejudice. They seem to not realize what that means. That means that she can refile it against them. And the plan is to add them to another bigger case, which is coming. They just don't know it yet. So the Judge Davis will know about it. So I'm just sitting back laughing. All right, hold on. Okay, I'm there. Oh, yeah. All this logging in. Hold on. I should have had it up, but I was told there was nothing there to look at today. All right, let's see.
Oh no, what are you barking at?
And one thing that I know is they were going to talk about tomorrow.
Hi, Stormy.
All right, so this is
Hi, baby.
Federal 2 case.
Hi, Stormy.
So the last thing should be 59.
Hi, good girl.
All right, so it's the order regarding for an extension from Shockit. Moved for a 15-day. It was granted. So their opposition to David Helm's motion to dismiss is due on or before June 26th. That was the order that the judge gave today in the Federal 2 case. So let's go to Federal 1. See if we can find this hearing. All right. Let's see. Okay, notice of Zoom hearing. It's a status conference, and it's set for June 12th via Zoom. So, yeah. I wonder if we can get a copy of that, too. I don't have to ask. Lisa, wasn't the 18th was for the thumbnail asking for lawyers refund. That's what I'm thinking. So I switched them up, and the reason why is because I don't really pay attention to that. But let's go ahead and look. Levy County, hold on. So we were gonna find out if we could actually watch the Zoom link. I'm not sure we can, but I don't think so. Clerk of court, hold on. Court access. Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Right. Yeah, I would have asked Leslie if she was still here, but all right. I agree. Last name. We'll go by Michelle. All right. So let's see all of these. Wait, that's not her. That one. Okay, so this one. That's not her case. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up on the. Why is that the thumbnail case not showing up?
I don't know.
Okay. There's two cases. All right, here's the one. Nope, hang on. All right, here's the one. This is the Granger's case. Order appointing process server. All right, so it doesn't seem like there's anything on the docket for this case. Motion. Okay. Hold on. Nothing. It's the last thing on there is from May 6th. And it's an order appointing process server. So where is the thumbnail case? What is going on? That should be there. Let's look it up this way. Whole bunch of crap's gonna come up under his name. Let's see. Close. Reopen. So this is it right here. Let's see. Okay. Order setting hearing. 6:18 at 1:15. Okay, so that would be it. So it's for the thumbnails case. So it's the sanctions. Taking care of all these cases? Yes. The new attorney is taking care of everything except the Ohio case. But I'm sure what happens here is going to be brought up in Ohio anyway. But he's not going to be an attorney on that case. All right, so we got this down. There was returned mail for DJ Radis.
What do you mean return mail?
May 25th, the court got back returned mail for Radis.
What
Who
the
knows
reason
what
I-
address he had? Let's see. Yeah, they sent it to Ohio. It was the last known address of his. It was returned. He knew he was in court. He should have updated the court records. I did. I let him know I'm not Lisa Weeks. And I just threw that in there. I didn't even ask them to fix it, correct it. I just said Lisa Lee, 'cause that's my name. And in parentheses, I said Lisa Weeks is not my actual name. So, and the judge just automatically noted it and fixed it. So, and by the way, let's take a look-see. Oh, look at that. The motion that Randy Shockett certified that he sent to me via email, he did not, and it's still not here.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Is Granger's case federal or state? They are no longer Florida state residents. I predict the judge shows a waste. All of this is a waste of the court's time. They are no longer Florida state residents as long as they change their ID and stuff, which they should have because they haven't been living here for a long period of time. They should have changed it, just like George. She should have changed her license and stuff for Florida because she's here longer than a snowbird. Just saying. Maybe with the judge changing your name is a sign the change is onto the BS. Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Good night, Pebs.
Pebs, good night, honey.
What did Jared say? It's been well over a year. Most states give you 90 days. Yeah. I heard it was 6 months, actually. But if you get pulled over by an officer, he'll tell you it's 10 days. Oh. Plea deal. All right, hold on.
It's if you live here longer than 6 months out of the year.
Right. Here you go. Robbie, check this out.
Here's the funniest part, right? Here's the funniest part. The other side of this, the anti what the Hales side, continues to go, there's no plea deals in civil cases. When did anybody ever say a plea deal? Did you ever say a plea deal, George?
No, but if you've paid attention to the pattern of behavior and their reporting, they always take things and they twist it. They misinterpret everything, and so does Lynette.
So, just so we're all clear, there is no such thing as a plea deal. There is no prosecutor that you're going to deal with the state or the government in regards to this. This is a deal that they've asked for with me personally through their people to my people. Nobody has ever said a plea deal. And how anybody could be so ignorant, so stupid to ever go, plea deal? There's no such thing as, nobody's ever said plea deal. We said deal. They've asked for a deal.
One individual has come forward asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal, asking for a plea deal.
Oh my God.
Talk about a lying asshole.
All he does
How
is
could he
lie.
be so ignorant and so stupid to think that everyone listening to him is gonna believe him? Freaking crazy. That's
John
a spin,
Cap, good night,
guys.
buddy.
That's called a
Brothers.
spin. He got busted lying, so he tried to make
When
it
you were
look
playing-
like he's explaining to you what a plea
When you
deal
were
is.
playing his voice faster, it sounded like that Tug guy.
No, it was Jeremy. I
Damn.
sped up the pitch.
Yeah, but it was all nasally and it sounded like that Tug guy.
Well, I had to transform it.
That was crazy. I was like, God, I hate that voice. And then I figured out it was him, and you just sped it up a little.
Yeah. And George. Because you know how we report things.
Oh, by telling the truth?
Sunday, yeah. The Sunday before last, he said it was a third party that told D wanted a deal. Well, last night, he said that it was his people. So whoever wanted to make this deal, it was his people that went to his people. So that means it's not Super Dave, because Super Dave don't have people, meaning lawyers, a law firm. So it could, based on what he said, it could only be MLS. But a reading germ says a lie. So who knows?
I just, once again, I know I sound like a broken record on this. I just don't understand how people can watch his thing and believe all this crap.
I think
Even if you don't watch your channel, Lisa, even if they don't watch your channel, how can this much crap happen to a single person?
I think there's more people that watch him that don't watch us or Ray or Super Dave or anybody on this side that think he's full of shit. And if they're still watching, it's because after 2 years of watching it, they're waiting for something else to happen. They're waiting for something. I mean, they've been following this story, so they want to see what happens in court. The problem is you're not going to get the truth until it ends. You know what I mean? The only time you're going to get the truth, especially on his side, is reading the documents or watching the court, you know, the actual hearing. You know, because people don't have to believe what I say. I'll read the document. I'll show you what I'm reading. You can go get the documents yourself. But he's going to tell you what happened in court. He's not going to tell you the truth and show it to you with facts. George now, all of a sudden, must be learning how to manipulate StreamYard to add, you know, present files and stuff. Notice she's starting to do it now. She's not real good at it. But, you know.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't believe that people who are all watching him, for instance, everybody that's in the chat here, if they do go and watch him, it's like I want to hear what he's going to bullshit about next, right? But there's people that probably think the same thing that don't even know about our channels or anybody's channels. But they're going to hopefully find out that this stupid thing that's been going on for 2 years is going to end and how it's going to end. They're invested in the story at this point, you know?
Right, Strictly?
Oh.
But still, how can, okay, we have drama that happens here on the farm constantly, but it's nothing to do with people attacking people or anything like that. It's just things break, have to be repaired, things we're ordering, we're waiting on. It's nothing to do with people and drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's everyday life drama that we deal with.
Right. The big question, when the cases end, how is Germ going to spin losing? Oh, the judge should have been recused. They're going to blame the judge. I mean, what else can they do? It's up to the judge, right? Guapo exposed a lot today? What did he expose?
I exposed a lot today. A lot of crocodile eggs.
He'll claim bias and being treated unfairly. Yep. I mean, Megan's already saying that. Because the judge allowed another 14-day extension for Michelle. So Megan's already saying he should be refused.
Because
But
Michelle
Coates
can't get a
keeps
lawyer
saying,
because
"Let the
no
courts
lawyer.
decide."
Yeah. It's taken
No
forever to
lawyer
get
wants
this
to take.
lawyer.
Yeah, no lawyer wants to take this because of what they've done to Bruce, Stark, Silverman, and Martin. No one wants to take the case. They don't want to be ridiculed
Thank
or
you, Stacey.
smeared. And it doesn't matter what lawyer jumps on the case. They're going to do it. They're going to attempt it. And some people won't care, but you got to find the one that don't care. You know, they're interested until they look and they see what this case is. And they're like,
You'll
oh,
find
hold
out
on a
Wednesday,
second.
Jennifer.
You know, if they read the motion to vacate the judge, which any lawyer is going to read that motion, and they see what they've done to Bruce, it's definitely going to make a lawyer
Crimson.
think twice. So,
I see you, dude cells.
I see you.
When I'm walking around, I can't see the TV, though. I was feeding baby Crocs and everything. Now I'm back on the couch.
You're on the couch.
I'm on the couch now.
Yes, this is all messed up, guys. I really don't take much. All he has. Right. Let's play again, watching two leads. Wow. Yeah, just too much drama. And it's funny because I feel like when we talk about it, every time I pull weeds, it's all the drama. And this drama's been ongoing since August.
No, Julie's heart. The lawyer's there. But
Lisa, question.
Bruce is out.
Does this lawyer know what will happen when his name is known? He knows about it, yeah. And I don't think he cares.
It's a big firm, so
Yeah, it's a big firm.
good luck with that one.
And wait, I can't say. You gotta wait till he does what he's gonna do. Then we can say, Robbie, I gotta go to the ladies' room. Can you please talk?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Oh,
You guys, exciting day yesterday, digging crocodile eggs, and the video is up now. I put it up today at 5. It's awesome. I will, on our Wednesday live, we'll tell you how many eggs there were. And answer any questions. There's a lot of good questions people have been saying, but we always answer the questions on Wednesdays and Fridays and stuff. So that'll be really cool. Yeah. That's true, Strictly. Flutter saying 52. Kimberly Williams, 47. And you guys will see. You'll see. I'll tell you this, it was better than last year. Do you get your female and male crocs fixed, or can they all breed? They can all breed. You really don't want to fix a crock. They're gonna file on me, Sandra. Oh man, Jared 69. God, I wish Cubans laid that many eggs. I don't know, Terry. Probably not. Buddhisia. I'm sure there is a way to do it, but the FBI might be heavily involved. It was only one egg this year, though, Flutter. Last year there was a couple eggs that were cracked, but you guys saw the nest, man. We will dig out all the rocks, and I don't know where the hell she finds them. She gets more rocks to put in her nest. And you guys saw earlier this year, Savannah brought over one of the scientists from Cuba, and he was saying the same thing in Cuba. They always find rocks and put them in their nest. I guess because the rocks, the vegetation breaking down, and then the rocks in there, it might have something to do with the croc being smart, and the rocks hold heat longer as the vegetation's breaking down. But I couldn't believe when I opened up that nest, I could literally see the steam coming at my face. And I thought for a little bit there, I was going to pass out when we were digging and digging and digging. I was digging and I couldn't find the eggs.
42.
42. I thought I was going to pass out. It got so hot. All that vegetation, all the hay that was down in the dirt, pulling that up. We tried to do that, Georgia, and cameras need a light on them to focus. So you either get a red light or a green light, and that was actually how we discovered that crocs can see color, because they could see the light come on. And we tried green and we tried red, and we know they see green and they see red. And we had it 6 feet up in the tree, and she jumped up and grabbed the camera and smashed it. And I lost a bunch of cameras. And then we tried putting one on a pole outside the fence there at the edge of the nest. And it was just too far away to really catch anything. But the very first year we did get pictures of Ricky helping her build the nest. And that was the first ever documented male crocodile helping a female build a nest. Oh God, it's crazy, dude cells. We know they do eat smaller rocks, much like a bird does, and to help them break down their food. And it's basically like a living tumbler. It's pretty cool.
A living tumbler.
Yeah. The crocodile, it'll eat some small rocks and they come out however long they're in there. And they come out and they're all polished. It's weird. I guess some of the acids in the bones from what they're eating. Pamela, it'll hold it. It depends on how much rain we get. Usually about 2 weeks. The scent will still be there, and she'll sit on the nest for about 2 weeks. If we get a lot of rain, maybe shorter. If we don't get so much rain, maybe a little longer than 3 weeks. But she can smell the eggs.
That's all right, Peculiar. It's all goody.
Yeah,
I feel like it was worked out, right?
Julie's heart, they
It's all
don't, I don't think they realize that they're gone. They just think the eggs went bad or something. I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure because I'm not in the cop's brain, but they just move on. And then she lays again the following year. This is the 11th year that pair has bred and laid eggs. So that's incredible. And they're still young.
Here's one for you, though, Peculiar. I can't even see the chat.
She is
Hold on.
pretty.
What?
Heavily involved.
Oh, there it is. I don't know. I lost the chat.
Yeah.
I lost the window. Okay. I got it back. All right. Lori. Wabby, where are all those Cuban croc now from all those years?
A lot of them went to Gatorland. A lot went to other places. And I've got a bunch here.
The only FBI I want to see is the female body investigators. Oh. Oh, well. Hold, please.
Now that's what I call heavy
Welcome to Get
involved.
Swamped. Hey, who is them Gator girls?
Mr. Kessie, Agents T's and Pleas, here to ask you a few questions.
Oh, mama, give me tatas.
Lucinda, because it would be illegal for me to do that. They're not native species. And babies could go out of the cage. They could go right out.
Todd was unsupervised that fateful day.
Todd, can you hear me? Wake up, Todd. Smoke follows trouble. Guess who it's following now? Todd. If there's smoke, there's fire. And if there's fire, there's Todd. Well, Todd, you really lit up the party, the cruise, then the couch. It's bad when the couch isn't the only thing getting roasted. Todd. Wake up, Todd, you dumbass.
Wake up, Todd, you dumbass. Don't worry, honey. These lips haven't seen action since Nixon.
Remember, only losers start loser couch fires. Todd.
And couldn't figure out what was going on. But
Robbie,
I
were
was
you
feeding
talking
a
the
lot
whole
of
time?
processed. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
boy.
couldn't hear me?
No, not when the video is playing. You go muted.
Oh. Oh.
Oopsie.
All right, Jared. Jared, a couple of years we only had one or two hatch. Well, a few years. And just 3 years ago, we figured out that a lot of that had to do with feeding processed foods, feeding chicken from the supermarket, or feeding steaks, or when the freezers would go bad, when meat would go bad in the supermarket, they would donate us meat. And we were feeding all that meat to the alligators and crocodiles. And we noticed the fertility rate went way down. So it's all the drugs that they put in meat. And I think it was 3 years ago, I switched the Cubans, 4 years ago, 3 or 4. I switched them over to only roadkill, raccoons, possums, otters, deer, and pigs. And the last year was proof in the pudding that it worked, because that was our highest success rate ever. And it's neat when you learn things like this. You're doing little experiments with everything and you figure things out. But Gatorland was having the same problem. They were feeding a lot of processed chicken and everything, and their fertility rate was way down. They were feeding horse meat and also
Good night, Georgia.
a lot of beef. Good night, Georgia. God bless prayers. And that's there's everybody's also saying, you got people saying vaccinations cause autism and all this and that. I think they got to start looking into the chemicals they put in our foods here in the United States. I bet that has a lot to do with it.
Wow, that sounded like a drum.
What did?
That wasn't a drum. Listen.
Good night, Oregon, Mom, Grandma. God bless.
The fleas are not named.
Mo magic.
I argued with ChatGPT. Your list of possibles. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I have to name them. I like the name. She's so freaking talented. Jeez. Mo magic. Mo magic. Mo magic. Hot takes and fleece of lips. Truth bombs with
Lori,
lip gloss.
Lori J. 100% Lori J.
Lisa, according to that clown bed nation, Michelle took Harley's toys from Christmas and is selling them at the flea market. Is he saying this now? Like
according
today?
to who?
Or yesterday? Yeah,
that's
was
what
the
they're saying
first
here.
thing, according to who. But they're saying it now?
That's what someone
he's a
said
little
in
late
here.
in the game. Yeah, she's not selling any Christmas toys. Sorry. Hate to disappoint. What she is selling is stuff that was given to her for Christmas and around Christmas time that she could make and sell at the flea market, or just go ahead and sell at the flea market. She was given things to sell at the flea market. None of it was Harley's toys. Yeah, she was given a lot of things. A lot of things.
I've given them a lot of things, and so has other people.
Yes. And they also got gifts from Harley to them for Christmas. People were very, very generous and very thoughtful in helping them, making sure they had gifts from Harley for them, making sure that they could make, like, because Michelle likes to make jewelry, making sure she had enough stuff to make jewelry so she could sell at the flea market to help them with the income, I think Vagination or whatever the hell he's calling himself, or we're calling him, could only wish to be making extra income. because it sounds like he might be in a little bit of trouble with his veteran nation thing, which is supposedly no longer a 501c3.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good night,
Good night,
Harper.
Harper.
Yeah, look, I don't know why anybody would try to say it's a bad thing that John or Michelle is trying to generate more income on a monthly basis for their family. Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. Robbie, if you could generate more income for your farm, would you do it?
In a heartbeat.
Isn't that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So why is that okay for you, but not okay for Michelle?
Why is it
Isn't
okay for
Germ,
Jeremy
like,
to
renting?
generate
He's
more
renting
income
out
to go buy
Airbnbs.
Airbnbs and
Sell things on whatnot, eBay, you know, continuing to make videos.
it's like when we do our sales.
Why is that
take-
okay? But
we take a
Michelle's not allowed to.
percentage. Right.
Don't dare tell me I'm not allowed to do something. I'll go do it. Michelle has my blessing to resell any toy that Harley she has outgrown or uninterested in. There you go. But she's not. You know. The one thing they saw was that pink car. It was an old car. Honestly, it's too small for her. She got a freaking Jeep. I mean, the Jeep. God, you know how long that Jeep should last? It's huge. And she doesn't need that small car. There's another child who could use it. You know what I mean?
Sell it.
Sell it. People are always selling or giving away their used toys that their children don't use anymore.
But didn't John get that pink car from somewhere else?
A storage unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not from anybody for Christmas.
They didn't sell anything they got from Christmas.
No, but that's what they tried to say. They even showed like a video
Well, wait
of
a minute.
flea market
Wait a
booth,
minute. Let me
and it was
correct
not
myself.
her flea market.
Let me correct myself. They did not sell any of Harley's toys because we did give them a rolly thing to make jewelry, and then other people bought her rolly things to make jewelry.
Yeah.
So she has been selling that.
Yeah.
So,
I just sent another box over there with stuff in it for her.
I just sent a bunch of more beads and pearls and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I got stuff out of the storage unit that I got here, and there's some clothes that were like too small that I thought Michelle might even fit into. So I sent some of that. The silverware I sent to her. What else? There's a couple things that people sent for her in the boxes too. Some crystals that she won or people gifted to her. I send boxes to her all the time. If I go there and there's something, I bring it. Haven't been there in a bit. Guapo 2 men. Guapo got attacked for bartering back in the day. That's crazy. So wait a minute. Okay, so what did Guapo expose today? Did we find that out?
No, no one said. I didn't see where anyone said it.
Is bartering against the law? No. However, you can't barter with alcohol. You can't give us, you can't do that. It's like selling it. You need a license for that.
That's against the law without a license.
Yeah, that's against the law. But you can barter. He was accused about taking his alcohol. Oh, did he address that? Yeah. False police report
God.
from the guy that he actually bought cards from. So he addressed that. Okay. I don't know why he's saying it was guapo. Because there's quite a few people there that drink. The card guy lied in his reports. Okay. Man, I wonder if there's one person out there that doesn't know of any kind of drama in their life or someone they know's life.
Todd, some guy where
Does that
accused Guapo of
exist?
stealing things from him.
I think Guapo bought
Guapo's
cards and
not
stuff from someone.
Guapo is
And
not
the
a
guy's claiming he stole it or something. You have to go watch. Because I didn't watch. I got in the video, or in the live, late the other day. So I kind of heard bits and pieces. You have to go and watch. But it's someone he actually bought stuff from that's claiming he stole it.
If you sold it to him, he didn't steal it.
Right. That's crazy. He and Conti drank all Jeremy's booze. Last night, Jeremy said he can use alcohol to barter. Mentioned George's sister. Yeah, Jeremy said that the alcohol that was at the ranch, left at the ranch, was to barter with businesses and stuff. I think someone is paying others to make false reports. Oh. Yeah, I don't think Guapo lied. I think if anything, he probably tells too much of the truth. You know?
Yeah. Guapo, he's not a thief.
No. I just found it funny last night that Jeremy and George kept saying that Michelle used other people's money for an attorney. Okay. Jeremy uses other people's money all the time for everything he does.
Doesn't he do that every week? Ask for more attorney fees?
And when he talked about getting these condos, he said he got the money from somewhere else. Well, most people would get it from a bank, a mortgage. But who knows what he did or how he did it.
He must have got it from the hitman. He got it from the hitman.
Yeah. Look, he pays to promote his channel. He pays for all kinds of shit. He loves setting people up. He's been doing that since like 3 girlfriends ago. He will do anything to make people believe his story. Anything. And it's catching up with him. And by the end of these court cases, he's going to know it too. Probably got it from the Granger because they were very interested in what it is. Oh. I don't know, but her nose is a bit red. She likes to drinky. That's rich. That's fine. Good night, White. And what time is it? Oh my gosh.
What time is it?
I can't believe you're still awake.
I'm falling asleep. What time is it?
It's 1:41.
Oh my God.
Alrighty, guys. We're going to call it a night. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you guys for being honest with your opinions and honest in discussing them and talking them out tonight. I think that was great. And I want to thank you all for just being here and supporting us and what we believe in. Even if you don't agree with us all the time, it's okay. Please go and check out our mods channels. They're awesome peeps, as I say all the time. Mo Magic, oh my gosh, you rock. I can't even tell you how much you rock. You rock.
I lost.
Well, I'll be back tomorrow. What? Are you mumbling?
No, I can hear now.
Okay.
It goes in and out.
Thanks, Sylvie. But I'll be back tomorrow night, I think, with Kendra. Karen Reed case is looking like the defense is getting ready to rest. So, give me some answers soon. A verdict soon.
Good night,
but
everybody.
We'll see. But Kendra
God
will
bless.
update us tomorrow, I think.
And prayers to everybody.
Thank you. Have a great night. Great day. Prayers to all of you. Have an amazing,
Bye-bye.
amazing day.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Toodaloo. Thank you, Nikki.